Digital radio.
FM.
Online at BBC Sports Scotland.
Your smart speaker.
And on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
And you are tuned to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. A busy day of action in the Premiership. Also a really busy day in the Scottish Cup. We have reporters at two of the games. What a game it is down at Palmerston. Queen of the South at home to Dundee United. There for us, Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, really fascinating to be at this one. One of 18 ties today. We know that Clyde and Wraith Rovers got through last night. Two sides here, Queen of the South and Dundee United, really contrasting fortunes in terms of the season so far. Queen of the South with just one win in their last 10 outings, sitting 8th in League One. Not good enough as far as manager Marvin Bartley is concerned, and he publicly criticised a lot of his players' lack of professionalism after their defeat to Kelty Hearts last week. Jim Goodwin welcomes back captain Ross Docherty, Declan Gallagher, Louis Moult and Kai Fotheringham to the starting 11. They didn't play in last Friday's Challenge Cup defeat to Falkirk, which was disappointing for United, but it was their only loss in their last 18 games since the 18th of July against Partick Thistle in the League Cup. So Dundee United, the game's underway, 0-0 after 1 minute, but really fascinating to see how this one goes.
Good stuff. Thank you to Kenny Crawford. Staying with the Scottish Cup, Dunbar at home to Alloa Athletic this afternoon. There for us, Amy Canavan.
Cup journey started back on the 2nd of September. Since then they've brushed aside Vale of Leven, University of Edinburgh and League Two side East Fife. That was a 1-0 victory here last month thanks to Dean Whitson's strike just on the stroke of half time. He has 3 goals already, one in every round of the Cup. The Seasiders are in uncharted territory. Never before have they reached the third round of the Scottish Cup. I was chatting to a few punters earlier on and they were saying they saw folk with tears in their eyes after that East Fife win. However, one was very quick to say it wasn't me greeting. In the opposite dugout today, Andy Graham will certainly be hoping there's no greeting after his second game in charge. Brian Rice, of course, going on at the Pastors new at Livy with the Wasps legend taking over. It wasn't the debut he would have wanted, losing 3-0 to Edinburgh City in the league. He'll be praying there is no cup slip-up on this potential banana skin today.
Thank you very much indeed to Amy Canavan. She is watching Dunbar against Alloa. As you're going to hear, there are a few technical issues, but we will bring you the goal news from that one. Tom English has been running a poll on VAR. We'll get to the results of that shortly. And also, Tom, I want just to touch on Kenny teed up there in terms of the pressure on Marvin Bartley. Some interesting comments this week from him having a go at some of his players. It'll be good to get the guys' thoughts on that. So we'll get to these talking, but also want to talk in Open All Mics about who your strikers would be for the Euros. Returning to a former club, we're talking about Craig Levein, the reception he will get at Tynecastle this afternoon. Derek Adams back at Ross County, and also many of our pundits tipped St Johnstone to go down this season. That was based, of course, on the dreadful return that they had in the League Cup. But have feelings now changed? Are there other clubs that our pundits are concerned for? We'll get to that later in the programme. Let's then get round the grounds with the very early stages. Celtic against Motherwell. There for us, Stephen Craigan.
Indeed, Kenny, and as we expected here at Celtic Park, Motherwell, they're not being too ambitious early on. They're being pragmatic. Celtic will be pushing and probing. And when you come to a venue like this and the form Motherwell are in, it's vitally important you get through the early stages unscathed, because then suddenly you can start to grow in the game, you can start to trust yourself. But if you concede an early goal and you're used to losing games, then it can really pile the pressure on you. And you have to think that Blair Spittles just got caught overplaying in his own 18-yard box in Celtic turn. Motherwell haven't won in those 9 games. They haven't even led in any of those 9 games. That's the damning factor as well. So that will be in the players' mind. They'll be completely aware of that. They will want to start strong today. They can't afford to give anything an easy way against Celtic. It's a back 5. It's a midfield 4 that look as if they're going to be narrow at times. They're going to be compact. They're going to be wide when they can win the ball. They've got Nick Abirev as a lone striker. They're going to try and hit him as quickly as they possibly can. But just watching Celtic, every time they get the ball, the movement from Kyogo, he's always looking to penetrate. He's always looking to run in behind, which means Motherwell can't afford to be too high.
What a move!
Yes, Al.
Kenny, wait to see this move, Leanne. What a move for Hearts. It starts in the right back area. Cochrane, he's got a nutmeg on the left hand side. They're in one touch stuff. 4 different players, but Cochrane keeps running. and it's laid back to him at the edge of the box from Lowry, and it's a great hit, good save by Mitov, but what a move.
Yeah, I'm just catching it there now, Alan. Yeah, you're spot on, it's lovely. It's the type of football that you want to see more from Hearts, in the way they move the ball, the link-up play centrally. They're unlucky not to get an end product from it.
Any reaction for Craig Levein yet, Alan?
No, none at all. Craig's down just below us. Where we sit, Kenny, I'm sitting in the main stand here, so Craig's just down below us, and him and Andy Kirk are quite active already in the match. You'll want to see the first 15-20 minutes through here, because Hearts really come at you at the start of this game, and they have today already, but it's still 0-0 here with 4 minutes to the clock.
Let's get to Dens Park. Chick Young is there for us. Early stages, Dundee against Hibs.
Goal for Dundee United.
Oh.
It's only taken them 5 minutes, Kenny. It's Kai Fotheringham popping up at the back post from Craig Sybil's cross from the left-hand side. They'd already had 5 or 6 half chances, and now Dundee United have taken an early lead against Queen of the South. Kai Fotheringham.
Yeah, Marvin Bartley, you'd have to think, under big pressure down there at Palmerston. Let's then get back to Chick Young. Dundee against Hibs. Chick.
Yeah, still 0-0, Kenny, but a good open start to this game, and Tavares in a Hibs jersey just running riot with a solo effort there, just get right through the Dundee defence. But Dundee have got forward as well. Good crowd inside Dens Park this afternoon. Hibs playing in their change strip of it's slightly off-white cream tops, green shorts, and just some sweet football. I was having a wee chat there before the kick-off with the great Pat Stanton, and he was just reflecting on the players of yesterday's for Hibs. They're comparing to the game today, and the one point he said was, I'd just love to play on a surface like that. Remember the 70s and the football pitches? 0-0 at the moment.
Yeah, thank you to Chick Young there. Let's then get to Dingwall. Ross County against Kilmarnock. John Robertson. We heard for Derek Adams earlier in the programme. He said he wants to make changes. He can't go with the formation that he wants to right now, but he has switched some things around. What are you seeing in the early stages there?
No, it's just as 7 minutes gone here, and County have started slightly the better side. Danda broke away down the right and flashed one across the face of goal, but it's a 5-4-1, and it's an interesting one saying he can't play the formation he wants, because there's plenty of players looking at the squad. There's certainly defenders he can use there, there's midfield players he can use, there's strikers as well, so I'm a wee bit perplexed as to what his favourite position is, because there's formation is, because there's certainly plenty enough players. He could go 2 strikers easily enough. He's got wingers, he's got more midfield players, he's got, let's say, 5 defenders on show today, but they've started on the front foot, and they've gone, let's say, 5-4-1, and Kilmarnock have got a 4-1-4-1. But it's quite a cagey start.
We had a chance
for Hearts there. It's Lowry with the corner to the back post. It's Liam Boyce with a header. Mitov diving full length to his left-hand side, turning it away for a corner. Still 0-0, 7 minutes on the clock.
Kenny Crawford brought us the first goal of the day. That's in the third round of the Scottish Cup. Dundee United 1-0 up away at Queen of the South. Dumbarton also 1-0 up away. That's against Annan Athletic. Michael Ruth with a goal there in the 5th minute. Let's then get to Rory Loy. He's in Paisley for us today. St Mirren against Libby. Rory.
Yes, indeed, Kenny, and it's been a lively old start. Livingston started the game pretty well, however, didn't create too much. St Mirren are playing a lot of diagonal balls, which have been really good. Marcus Fraser has a couple of raking passes out to Scott Tanzer. One of his balls into the box was headed wide by Mark O'Hara. There's a section of Zach Hemming's goal which, well, I say that, I mean, it's pretty much his whole box, which has still got frost on it, so whenever the ball gets into that section, it skips up and it's quite lively. Marcus Fraser did clash with Guthrie in that box, however, there was nothing doing. It did look like a coming together, but probably the right decision by the referee. 14 of the last 15 games between these sides, Kenny, have been decided by the odd goal or have been a draw, so, you know, nip and tuck between these sides most of the time, although St Mirren have got the best record, and so far it's been even Stevens, and it's currently 0-0.
Kenny Crawford, Tom telling us. Yep.
There's a bit of a penalty claim in here. The Hibs bench having a go to. There's been an injury. Ball was spinning. They claim for a handball. Hibs player's going down injured. The referee, I don't think, is going to look at it. But maybe if you see it again.
Yeah, I've just caught it at the corner of my check, but hopefully get a better replay. I'll come back to you on that one.
Yeah, Nick Montgomery was having a real go at the fourth official, Alistair Grieve.
Yes, Stephen?
Yeah, no surprise, it's the home side. It's Matt O'Reilly, who you have to say has probably been one of Celtic's best players this season. I think it's Greg Taylor scores it to him in the box. He has a snapshot with his left foot. Liam Kelly had to palm it away from goal, but the home side really cranking up the pressure. 0-0.
Yeah, we're still waiting. Still the player still down there, Leanne, and here we are now.
Yeah, it's Miller that's down in the grass. Just looks to get himself in front. Nah, for me it's not a penalty. He looks to take the touch. Bakayoko as it's behind him. I don't think there's an awful lot of contact. I actually think when Miller takes a touch himself as he plants, he rolls his ankle, and that's what it looks like contact, but it's not for me.
Tom,
Kenny, all the signs are suggesting it's going to be really messy for Queen of the South down here this afternoon. Dundee United are absolutely all over them. They could be probably 3 or 4-0 up at the moment. Kai Fotheringham's 8th goal this season, the difference at the moment, but it's just attack after attack for the Tangerines.
Kenny, you've teed it up brilliantly because, Tom, we were chatting earlier on, so Marvin Bartley had a bit of a pop at his players this week. He got quite the reaction on social media.
A bit of a pop. A pop would be a euphemism. It was a 15-minute evisceration of his team. It reminded me, for Father Ted fans, when Father Ted won the Golden Cleric Award and his victory speech, you know, it was like, and now we move on to fullbacks. He went through his team.
But there was one particular part of it.
Kenny, he looked a beaten man. You have to say, he looked an absolutely beaten man.
Everybody went under the bus. Everybody. And then he talked about the video games. And listen,
is that not a fair point?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think professional footballers, if that's the case, should be sitting there playing video games for 8 hours. That's separate. It's the way he absolutely brutalised verbally his own players. Everybody was taken out. All his defenders, in the microscopic detail across 15 minutes. And I'm thinking, I'm watching it, and I've watched it twice now because it's an unbelievable piece of footage. I can't believe he's still Queen of the South manager after that.
How on earth, Stephen, does he get players today?
Chat, Kenny. That should be done behind closed doors, not made public. The players will switch off to him now. They'll switch off.
Surely he's tried that. I think that was the final straw to try and get a little bit out of them. Players won't care. Players aren't going to change. What they'll wait for is the manager to go. The next manager will come in and they'll do the exact same things. Players couldn't care less. Marvin Bartley's trying to make a career in the game. It clearly hasn't worked out the way he wanted. So, irrespective of what he said, the players will just get on with their job, win, lose, or draw.
But Stephen, in that video, he took very minimal acceptance of the blame himself. He just threw it all at the players, pretty much every bit of it, in detail. Huge detail across 15 minutes. So I'm looking at it and going, hang on a second, this is not right for a man. I know he's a young manager, but I thought it was unbelievably naive and really kind of poor deflective tactics from him.
Well, I would imagine that he's given them that information privately, continually, and the fact that he's got to the stage of saying, well, they're not listening, they're not going to do, so I'm going to have to go public and put it out there. That's the only way I can look at it. Naive's the right word, Tom. Very naive as a young manager, because clearly the players aren't going to warm to him anymore.
Yeah, it's
Did you not have a go at the previous manager as well, at Willie Gibson, and who responded, I believe?
Yeah,
Yes,
I did see
that's
a
right.
reaction. Yeah, saw that as
Everybody got it. Everybody got it.
Did you get it, Tom?
I didn't, but I was kind of.
He will after the Father Ted comment he'll get.
Yeah, right after my Father Ted reference, I might be getting it.
Now, look, it's hard, and I totally get that Marvin feels like as passionately as he does that he clearly doesn't align with a lot of the players in the dressing room. That's the reality. But for me, the fact that came from Club TV was a bigger alarm bell. Like if that had been an off-the-cuff interview with the BBC after the game, where it's, you know, he's hot off the touchline and you grab him for a question, and the fact it came from Club TV and Club TV broadcast it and put it out.
But that's the only interview he gets, Leanne. That's his only opportunity, because the BBC don't speak to him in the press public.
I know, but
give him minimal columns.
But surely the club are going, listen, I don't know if this is the route you want to go down. For me, I took it as the club were happy for him to almost hang himself out to dry.
It's 15 minutes, like.
I know.
I mean, it's not 2 or 3. It's 15 minutes.
And I think we're seeing the reaction now.
15 minutes, is it?
It's 15 minutes. I keep saying I've watched it twice.
I can see a transcript in front of Tom as we speak.
It's actually
incredible stuff.
It's captivating. It's magnificent if you're going for this kind of thing.
Do you know what? The fans play a big part in this programme. From 5:30, fans of lots of clubs ready to go. If any Queen of the South fans want to come on and talk about that, what it's been like following the side this season, drop us a wee note on Twitter and we'll get you on.
Also, I
remember Stephen McLean having a go at the St Johnstone players after the St Mirren game. You know, and that was his final.
I think you watch it and you think, does Marvin think he's managing Man City or something? Because his expectations of players seem to be outrageously high, way higher than the level I would suggest that he achieved as a player himself.
The most conflicting thing that I seen from it, was just the response that Pirlo had basically stated in his book, that he just sit and play the computer for 8, 9 I was. Obviously, Queen of the South players, I don't think you can compare to Pirlo, but...
and you talking about Pirlo's book?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
Sorry,
Leanne and Tom, when I put out on social media that I was coming to this game today, a couple of fans got back to me saying, can you bring the Xbox controller charger?
Kenny, if any of these, I'm serious, Kenny, if any of the fans want to come on tonight, if you see anyone that would love to have a Queen of the South fan on to get some reaction to what's going on at the club, they're obviously hugely concerned, and it's very concerning, Kenny, what you've seen on the park in the opening 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, well, the two defenders that really copped a lot of the flack were Effie Ambrose and Kyle McClelland, and they're both the centre-back pairing today, so it's clearly not affected them being in the starting 11.
Kenny,
but
watch this touch, Leanne, from Shanklin. It's a kick out from Xander Clark. Xander Clark juggles it a little bit, but he volleys it 70-80 yards, and Shanklin brings it. It's falling over his shoulder. What a touch.
Yeah, I've missed the touch, but I've seen the area of the pitch, so it must have been a fair decent kick to
big
to
chance
find
up here, and Dingwall there. Danda went through, smashed it past the keeper. It was stopped on the line. It was cleared. Scott Ardice then flicked on back in. It's flicked on again, and from the corner,
oh, he's missed
they were
it.
checking for a
Shouldn't
penalty.
have been a goal for Dundee opening. Back at Yoko through. It's a mistake at the back by Hibbs. He's clean 1-on-1. He's just got to lob it over the goalkeeper, and he volleys it, and it goes over the crossbar. That should have been a goal. And saying that, moment or two earlier, I didn't want to interrupt you. Wonderful work by Yair Tavares. Wonderful skill down the left side. He's been an outstanding player so far. Cut it back for Josh Campbell, who should have scored, but knocked over the bar as well. So great start to the action here at Dens Park, still 0-0.
Yeah, saw Tavares in the game at St Mirren a few weeks ago for Hibs. He was absolutely fantastic to watch that night. John, you saying there's a potential check there?
Here he is, Tavares! Goal! Right on cue, Kenny. Way up the left side. Tavares starts it, knocks it wide, and he runs onto the cutback, opens the right foot and puts it beyond Trevor Carson. Tavares outstanding in this match so far, and it is Dundee 0, Hibernian 1.
It's an equaliser for Queen of the South. Unbelievable.
Wow.
It's a corner by Lee Connolly. I think Josh Todd's got the final touch. It was cleared off the line a couple of times. I think it's Josh Todd who's got the header to put the ball in the back of the net, but that's Queen of the South 1, Dundee United 1, and that was not on the script. Yeah, Josh Todd, number 8, I'm pretty sure it was.
PlayStation football down there, I believe.
It sounds like it.
But the problem is that they're not playing enough PlayStation, clearly.
Well, somebody's obviously controlling them today.
Talk us through that Hibs goal.
That's fantastic. Brilliant play from Tavares, as Chick describes. Just the pace, he's so direct. The ball that he plays down the left-hand side, he continues his run, absolutely bursting to get inside the box. I would need to say defensively for Dundee, they've got no clue. They don't track him, they don't see him, they don't pass him on, and he just slots it into the back of the net. Really good goal.
Brilliant work
really
rate.
Yeah.
Brilliant work rate and a great finish as well.
He's great to watch.
Tavares.
So Queen of the South have equalised in the third round of the Scottish Cup. We have a goal, Dunbar against Isle. Let's try Amy Canavan.
Hello, Kenny. I hope you can hear me. My goodness, the Dunbar fans will certainly be able to hear them. They are cheering their side. They're 1-0 up against Alloa. A delicious ball whipped in right to the back post. PJ Morrison couldn't quite handle it, and I think it's Michael Barfoot that's just got the final touch over the line to ensure that Dunbar do have the lead here. It's been a very interesting game. Both sides have had decent opportunities, but Dunbar have struck first. 1-0 Dunbar against Alloa.
Staying in the Scottish Cup, Cove Rangers 1-0 up away at Stirling Albion. Michael Doyle in 10 minutes. In the English Premier League, Sheffield United 0, Bournemouth 1. Marcus Tavernier with a goal there.
Shout for a penalty, not for me, but there's going to be a shout at Tynecastle's. Be checked, as we know. Alan Forrest goes down in the box. I don't think it is.
Big save here, Armstrong into the box there, a 1-2 shot, deflected. Great save from Laidlaw, nearly 1-0 Kilmarnock.
The camera angle that we are seeing, Alan's far too far away. Hopefully we'll get a better close-up once play stops. If it gives us
a bit away for me as well, Leanne, but initially I just thought, no.
Aye, there didn't look too much in it, to be fair. Looks as if Forrest does maybe get the touch, but is he perhaps looking for it? I don't know.
Alexander Isak has given Newcastle United a 1-0 advantage at home to Chelsea. That goal coming on 30 minutes. Just confirmation, Michael Barfoot on 13 with that goal for Dunbar United at home to Alloa Athletic in the Scottish Cup. And confirmation, Jai Tavares with a goal in 60 minutes. Gavin Riley with that equaliser for Queen of the South at home to Dundee United. 1 apiece there in that match. Let's then get to Celtic Park. So far so good for Motherwell, Stephen.
Ken, I've got to must say, it's actually been an enjoyable game. Celtic, as you know, measured, build up, slow, waiting for their opportunities to appear. They're patient. Palmer's had lots of the ball. Yang's had lots of the ball, just as Tony Ralston gets the ball on the edge of the box. But Motherwell have shown enough of a threat in the opening, 18 and a half minutes. Blair Spittle a couple of times just really broke from midfield. It's just that final pass they get Mika Biereth in. Certainly it's keeping Celtic honest at the back, but as you would expect, Celtic dominating, they're probing, they're just looking for that opening. But the effort, the commitment, the organisation, the application for Motherwell is there. However, the next step is, can you just be a little bit more productive with the ball? Can you carry a little bit more of a threat? Because the one thing you know about Celtic, they're going to keep on coming 0-0.
What's happening, Rory Lloyd, the game between St Mirren and Livingston?
Not a lot of goalmouth action, Kenny. Livingston are going quite direct, I have to say. I know there's been a few calls given the poor results to maybe get back to basics, as you say, slightly. I know David Martindale isn't always keen on doing that, but they've been very direct, going up to Curtis Guthrie and Bruce Anderson playing off him, and it's worked at times. St Mirren have had their moments. They're a little bit more methodical in their build-up and their play. Greg Kiltie had a lovely touch and nutmegged out over on the far side from the main stand, which got the fans on their feet, which was nice to see, but couldn't pick out a teammate with a cutback. St Mirren are coming back into the game now, and like I said, a little bit nicer on the eye, St Mirren, but a real lack of goal mouth action at the moment, and it's still 0-0.
The home side on top there, John Robertson and Dingle.
Not now. Kilmarnock have eased themselves back into the game here, Kenny. As I said early on, Danda flashed on because the goal, the same player had one knocked off the line. Then a Scott Allardyce header was flicked over the bar as he kept the pressure on. But Kilmarnock have just eased their way back in, and it's Daniel Armstrong looking really lively down the right hand side here. He cut inside for the lovely little 1-2. The shot was deflected, but Laidlaw managed to clock past, and again another strike deflected for a corner. So it's pretty even now. As I say, Kilmarnock have eased themselves back into the match, and it's still 0-0.
So in the top flight this afternoon, 5 games. Celtic 0, Motherwell 0, Dundee 0, Hibs 1. Yai Tavares with a goal there on 16 minutes. Hearts 0, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0, St Mirren 0, Livingston 0. Tomorrow on Sports, and what a game this will be. Aberdeen home to Rangers. Stephen.
Nearly an own goal, and an unbelievable own goal from Stephen O'Donnell. A corner fizzed in from the left hand side from Palma. Stephen O'Donnell gets a header at the near post, and Liam Kelly somehow manages to claw it away from getting into the back of the net. And I've scored many own goals, but I've never ever scored one like that.
How many?
I think 18 or 20. That would have been the best ever, honestly. Leanne, if you see it, what a save from Liam Kelly.
Have you really scored 18 or 20 own goals, Steve?
Yeah.
I mean, that's prolific.
It's not something I'm proud of.
Are you in a positive balance when we go to goals at the other end, or is it a negative equity?
I'm minus 14.
Kenny, we've got an equaliser here at Dens.
Yes, Jack.
It's a great play down the left side. Look, McCowan, I thought it had a really good line, and it was going into the far post, but the goalkeeper, Marshall, got down and got around the post for a corner. Dundee playing well. I know they're trailing by a goal to 0, but they're playing some sweet football, and that should perhaps have been the equaliser. Corner's taken in, but a chance here, it's cleared. Still 1-0 to Hibs.
So earlier on in the lunchtime kick-off in England, it finished Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 1-0 up at home to Chelsea, Nottingham Forest 1-0 up at home to Brighton, Bournemouth 1-0 up away at Sheffield United. So I'll just run through the Scottish Cup ties, third round ties that have goals so far this afternoon. So Annan 0, Dumbarton 1, Dunbar United 1, Alloa Athletic 0, Queen of the South 1, Dundee United 1, as we heard from Kenny Crawford. The home side fighting back there. Stirling Albion 0, Cove Rangers 1, and that's only games with goals so far in the Scottish Cup for you this afternoon.
Chance again, St Johnstone this time. Matty Smith, brilliant play on the right. He hangs up the back post. Robinson comes in. Leanne, you'll be able to tell me. I don't know if it hits Xander in the face or what, but it's point blank.
Yeah, I think it comes off his body. But it comes right at him. It's so instinctive though. He does really well just to clear the danger.
It's a couple of yards away from him. It's a great save.
Raheem Sterling has equalised for Chelsea away Newcastle United. That one is 1 apiece. So let's then talk about strikers, Scotland strikers for the Euros next summer. Who are we going with? Are we accepting, Tom? Do you think you did yourself and Michael Stewart did a 23-man squad last Saturday? Are we looking at 3 strikers, you think, or looking at 4?
Well, probably, I don't know. I think Ryan Christie has been named as a striker traditionally, so
right,
he'll be one, right? He's definitely going. Lyndon Dykes is definitely going. Shea Adams is on the bench again for Southampton today. I think that's 3 or 4 games in a row he's been on the bench. I think he'll go, but he needs to play a bit more. So I would say there's a slight question mark over him, just a slight one. Steve Clarke is a big fan of his, so he'd probably go. The question then, if there is a fourth, is it Shankland? Is it Jacob Brown? Or is it neither? Does he just go with 3 and go with an extra midfielder? Does he get Harvey Barnes? If he gets Harvey Barnes, does Harvey Barnes come in? And then there's only 3 strikers.
John Robertson, you're the expert on this. Who goes?
Dykes, Adams, Shankland and Christie will play just off the strikers and also a utility midfielder.
There you have it. Any disagreement with that, Leanne?
No, I think based on what we've seen so far, I think the players that are available, I think the only way it will change and you might end up with somebody coming in from the outside of the group that we've seen from Steve Clarke would be an injury. The likes of Ross Stewart that have been there and thereabouts squads previously. I know he's had these injury problems of late, but if he manages to get himself fit and available and play up towards the summer, then he might be somebody that puts himself in the frame. Guys like Kevin Nisbet, that have been in and out the fold. If there's injuries, there might be one. But I think the way we've seen it just now, Adams is a definite, regardless of club form. I think Steve Clarke will show loyalty in that sense, and I'd agree with the guys and the others.
What about yourself, Rory? Do you agree with John that these are the 4 that you go with?
Yeah, I would say so. I know it's nice to get variation, but I don't want to say something just for the sake of saying it. I think that the Adams and Dykes have both shown in a Scotland jersey. I understand Tom's slight concern over the game time, and if that continues then into towards the tournament, then it would become a concern. But I still think he'll go. And Shankland for me is the most natural finisher in the squad. I wasn't surprised necessarily to see Jacob Brown start because he was, the other night he was in the squad initially over Shankland, so there's a reason he's there. I don't think he.
Rory, I think the reason that he played the other night there, and I think it's good for Shankland, is that he's not had a chance. So I think, the fact that Shankland keeps coming on and doing okay and done well, he's doing well at club football. It was an opportunity to say, I'll give Jacob Brown a run. I'll give him as long as I can and hope that there's something here. Hope that there's something that he shows me. But I didn't think he showed anything.
Check.
Oh, it should have been an equaliser for Dundee. They're clean through. Actually, the game's gone to the other end, but McCowan got inside the box. He dragged it past a couple of defenders, and for me, he's just got to roll into the net. Somehow the goalkeeper came out, Marshall, and he's just spread himself a bit, stopped it, scrambled inside the box. Hibs get it clear, but that's a couple of occasions, clear occasions, on which Dundee should have been level. Still 1-0 to Hibs.
Rory, you want to come back in on that?
Yeah, no, I would just say, and this isn't based on Shankland's equaliser. I mean, I think he should go regardless. I think he's the most natural finisher we've had, possibly since Lee Griffiths. He's a phenomenal instinct around the box. He's a predator around the box, and he's improved an awful lot as well in his build-up play and his link-up play, which is possibly the bit of his game that Steve Clarke wasn't sure about at that level. So he's got to go for me, Shankland. He's going to play every game for Hearts that he's fit. He'll rack up the goals in my opinion, and I think even for, as he's shown, 5-6 minutes coming on, if we need a goal, he's as good as anyone we've got available.
The thing about Jacob Brown, obviously as you're saying, he was in the squad ahead of Shankland in the first place. B, he's playing in the Premier League. Now, okay, I know he's been on the bench a little bit. He starts a few games as well. If he can get, and he hasn't yet, but if he can get a number of goals between now and then at the top league in the world, that's going to count for a lot.
How many, Tom? You say a couple of goals.
I do think he looks like a striker.
Finishes with 23 goals and Jacob Brown gets 4.
We know that Steve Clarke thinks more of Jacob Brown currently than he does Lawrence Shankland.
Why though?
I know.
Because Jacob Brown covers the ground. He's more of a Steve Clarke striker. He covers the ground. He chases around.
You've got to have variation in there, though, Tom.
Work rate. You do. No, listen. I would pick
you
Shankland.
saying Shankland's not athletic enough, Tom? I had that thrown at me a few times as well.
I think that's the thing that goes against him, John. Is his pace.
I'd pick Shankland.
Leanne, again, I had that way back in the day. I was 26 when I got my chance at international football. 150 odd goals in the Scottish Premier League, but I was told I wasn't quick enough, wasn't athletic enough to play for Scotland.
It's ridiculous,
and
isn't
I
it?
think Shankland, they look at it the same way, which is terrible.
But this is the reality, the rights and the wrongs of it. Jacob Brown has been in the squads more often than Lawrence Shankland has. I think Shankland should go, without question. He's a different option off the bench because you'd already have Dykes and Adams who are the traditional Steve Clark type strikers. Then you have something different, a natural goal scorer.
Tom, these games could be decided by a big moment. And Lawrence Shankland, I think Lawrence Shankland's all-round
that's where it is.
game in the double six-yard box.
Jacob Brown's not going to get in front of Dykes and Adams in terms of the athletic, mobile striker that Stevie Clark wants, and that's why the rest of the guys that I'm saying as well. You want something a bit different, like we did in the match in Georgia. We need to grab a goal. We need somebody to go in and do it. Shankland's the obvious candidate.
But Brown, and I don't think he should go, right, as it stands. But he's playing against. Albeit coming off the bench against Liverpool, against Aston Villa, against Spurs.
But Tom, if you look at his career, if you look at his career, just in general, this is not a go at the lad, because I've not seen enough of him to a certain degree, but he's not got a history of scoring goals.
No, but
he's not got a great record of scoring goals, and we've already got two guys who can play that way.
But John, the point I'm making is that he has an opportunity to score goals.
Yeah, if he does, of course he would come into
it. If he takes it, and I don't know how many would be the optimum number that would convince Steve Clark.
I'm not sure, given what I've seen of him, that he's got that amount of goals in him. And I would think he'd need to get at least between 8 and 10 between now and the season in the Premier League.
He's never going to get that.
So then,
but never. I mean, who gets of that type of player? Who gets 8 or 10 Premier League goals?
Tom, you're putting a big emphasis on goals now. Of course, you want your strikers to score goals, and Dykes went through a spell with Scotland of scoring goals. But if you look at where our threat comes from, it's mainly from the midfield. Big strikers holding the ball up. So, of course, if Jacob Brown scores 10 goals in the Premier League in England, you've got to take him. I understand that. But I don't think that's the be-all and end-all. And that's why, in my opinion, Shankland as well has been out the equation at times, because I think that the way Steve Clark plays, holding the ball up, being strong, being a nuisance, getting about the pitch, is actually more important to the way his side plays than scoring a goal.
That would give Jacob Brown the advantage then.
But I think when you watch Jacob Brown, I know, but he was so poor, let's be honest.
Yeah.
The other night, I couldn't tell you if he was a strike. Well, for me, I think every time Norway looked to build, they broke the press. I don't even think he knew how to press in a Scotland team. Now, he's been there a long time. We're not even speaking about young kid, he's 25.
Tom,
he's been about the game.
I
don't think he's an out-and-out striker for a start.
I think Nisbet's a better prospect than Jacob Brown.
Nisbet doesn't seem to be anywhere near it.
Yeah, but he's been like Shankland. None of the two of them were given a real opportunity, and it was like either or was put in the squad, but either or were never stripped.
Brown looks. He doesn't look like. He's not a natural goal scorer. He had one chance and he fluffed it. Plus, to me, he looks light. He gets brushed off the ball too easily. Doesn't seem to have much physical presence.
That's why I thought the other night there was a huge. It was like Stevie Clark was saying, right, on you go. I'll give you 60, 70 minutes, 75 minutes. You've got to show me that you're better than the guys I've already got, because he now realises what Shankland is capable of. Everybody knows what Shankland's capable of, but he's never been given that opportunity.
But he always knew what Shankland was capable of, John, and he wasn't picking him in his squads.
Yeah, I know, and again, that can only be down. I think that's down to the fact that he has a system, and it's a 5-3-1-1, and Ryan Christie plays very, very well in that one role. So does Armstrong. Leanne is in Ronan at right. You've got goals coming from McTominay, Armstrong, Christie, McGinn. So it's not, there hasn't been an onus to have a striker in there to score goals, which and I'm going through a bit of my own thing here. I can't believe it. I can't believe you've got a naturally gifted forward who scores goals for fun in the top league in his home country, and he doesn't seem to get a
he's hit the bar.
Yes,
he's hit the bar, and it's Nottingham of Livingston. The corner comes into the box. He actually does really well, to be fair, to direct the ball towards goal, uses his neck muscles. It cannons off the bar as Hemming just watches. First opportunity really of the game to Livingston. Like I said, I don't think you can blame him for not scoring, Leanne, but Livingston actually doing pretty well in this game, I have to say.
No, you described it spot on, Rory, because he was trying it. He was almost backpedaling just to use his head to generate enough force to even get it on target. Was quite impressive. To be fair, he just needed it to look a little bit quicker than it did, certainly.
Right, we'll get around the grounds. I'll give you the latest scores. Brighton have equalised away at Forest. Evan Ferguson on 26 minutes. Airdrie ahead in the Scottish Cup away at Stranraer. Callum Gallagher on 25 minutes with the goal there. Broomhill 1-0 up away at Cumnock. That goal scored scored by Alistair McComb on 30 minutes. I'm seeing an equaliser's getting. Are you there? I know we've got a few problems on the line. Amy Canavan's Dunbar United against Alloa Athletic. No, we've got a few problems on Kevin Colley's equalised there on 31 minutes. So Dunbar United 1, Alloa Athletic 1. That's you up to date with all the goal news. Let's then get round the grounds. Stephen Craigan's at Celtic Park for us.
Yeah, I've got to say, Kenny, there's a little bit of frustration starting to go around the stands just because Celtic in the last kind of 10 minutes have been sloppy at times, have been in good positions. That final pass, that final cross has been cut out. Part of that is to do with the work ethic and the real desire that Motherwell have shown to try and close them down and put them under pressure. They've showed little ambition in the last 10 minutes, but Stephen O'Donnell actually just gone down the right-hand side, which is really unusual attack. Ball fizzed in the near post. Motherwell have their first corner of the afternoon, but I think the structure of Stuart Kettlewell's team today are something that we've been used to in the early part of Stuart Kettlewell's tenure. There's a real hunger amongst the players to be hard to play against. That's one of the keys when you come to Celtic Park. Individually and collectively, be very difficult to play against. So Celtic fans get a little bit frustrated, but Motherwell cannot rest on their laurels. We've got to make sure, worst case scenario now, they get to half-time, it's 34 minutes. Worst case scenario, 0-0, but they've got a corner.
Brora Rangers 1, Pollock 0, Jordan McRae on 34 minutes. Falkirk 1-0 up at home to Formartine United. Ethan Ross on 34. The away side, good value for the lead at Dens Park, Chick.
Well, Dundee have really battled. It's been a good game, Ken. I've really enjoyed this, I have to say. Good football from both teams. Chances being created, and actually in the last while it's Dundee who have had more opportunities, despite the fact that it's Hibs who lead by the 16th minute. Tavares goal, and he's gone a bit quieter. He started on fire in this match. He's not got on the ball so frequently, and that's maybe why Dundee have been allowed back into the game, getting more possession of the ball, getting forward, creating chances. Luke McCown has a couple of opportunities. David Marshall's done well in the Hibs goal. It could go either way, and I'm absolutely convinced that there's a goal in this Dundee side, so we'll see how it unfolds. At the moment it's 1-0 to Hibernian.
Stephen, just describe what unfolded there at Celtic Park.
From that corner kick, Celtic clear the ball. It goes the whole way back to Liam Kelly, who comes about 10 yards outside his 18-yard box. The Celtic back line squeeze up. There's no pressure on the ball. Liam Kelly just lumps the ball long, takes the full Celtic back line out. Blair Spittle's through. It's a bouncing ball. Joe Hart comes out. Spittle puts a ball over Joe Hart's head. Somehow manages. He actually tries like a back flick. That kind of scorpion flick that Rene Higuita done at Wembley many years ago. It didn't go where he wanted it. Ended up at Stephen O'Donnell, who lobbed everybody, and Cameron Carter-Vickers cleared it off the line with a header. So out of nothing, Motherwell almost took a lead. Just a warning sign for Celtic. You can't become complacent, because Motherwell have shown there that they are a threat. Still 0-0.
Stephen, Joe Hart looks to have made a bad decision there. He just comes charging out. He's not getting there.
No, he's not. He's not, and that's why I think Blair Spittle was hoping that he would clatter into him. Thankfully, from Celtic's perspective, he managed to stay tall and not make a foul. But you're right, Tom. One long ball took the full Celtic line out, and Joe Hart managed to get out of trouble through Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Spartans are 1-0 up at home to Arbroath. James Craigan on 35.
Oh, it's a goal! It's a goal for St Mirren. It's a lovely ball through to Greg Kiltie. He tries to score, actually. Shamal George makes the save, but he pushes it straight into the path. It's difficult to say whether it's an own goal from Nottingham or whether it's a Junga who's got the goal. It might be Mandaron, actually. Difficult to say, Leanne, maybe help me out. But really good ball, really good play from Kiltie, who doesn't manage to score, but the follow-up goes in the back of the net, and Livingston, after a decent enough start, find themselves one behind.
Yeah, I think it's maybe Mandaron. To be fair, the cameras have panned to him, certainly. But a good move, lovely ball over the top initially, Rory. I like those wee defence splitting passes. And I think when the angle's as narrow as it is, at times the cutback's not on. So actually the right thing to do was to take the shot on, force the keeper to make the save, and Mandaron's there to knock it home.
Yeah, certainly the PA's given it to Mandaron. It was just really difficult to see. I think Nottingham was trying his best to get back and block it, but never quite happened. It'll be interesting to see how Livingston respond, because they've done fine in this game. They've not been the better team or anything, but it's a difficult place to come, as they say, because St Mirren have been very good. So interesting to see how they respond. But Stephen Robinson will be delighted, because it's difficult to say they deserve the lead.
Back to the Scottish Cup party. Thistle have gone ahead at home to Queen's Park. Blair Alston on 36 minutes. Falkirk have doubled their advantage at home to Formartine United. Calvin Miller with a second goal there on 37. That after Ethan Ross had put the home side ahead on 34 minutes. Let's stay in the Scottish Cup and get back to Amy. Dunbar against Alloa. You've got an equaliser there, Amy?
certainly do, Kenny. This is the line may not be the best, but this is the proper Scottish Cup. It's the proper Roman's Cup. Unfortunately for Dunbar, we have just not long ago conceded. It's actually a really nice goal from Alloa. Kevin Colley gets on the end of it. It's a really deft header, cracking cross in from Scott Taggart. But Dunbar don't look too downhearted by it, just as Alloa actually were attacking there again. But it is 1-1 here at New Countess Park.
That St Mirren goal has come through on the wires as an own goal from Sean Kelly on 37 minutes.
Sean Kelly?
Nottingham.
No, definitely not Kelly.
It's on our website as a Nottingham own goal.
Yeah, I'm just looking at
3 goal scorers
so
here.
we've got 3 goal scorers on our website, so it's a Nottingham own goal.
You've got 2 players but trying to bundle the ball out for going
Sean
behind.
Kelly was nowhere near it though, was he?
No,
We've
I
got
think
3
it's
goal
definitely-
scorers. Can we pick them for Scotland then?
Yeah, we'll see if the wires update that. That's come through on
Could go
37
to our
minutes.
own
Sean
goal
Kelly.
expert, Stephen Cragen.
Anyway,
Very good.
listen, that's enough for me. But Motherwell went close once again. Harry Payton this time with his left foot. The anxiety of the Celtic fans is getting a little bit louder. And
Good
it's
effort,
Harry Payton
Stephen.
strike. Good save by Joe Hart. They recycle it through Brodie Spencer, puts it back in, but Celtic get it clear.
What's been different from Motherwell? What's improved today, Stephen?
Well, sometimes when you're in a bad run of form, players can hide and their work ethic looks as if it's dropped a little bit. There's a little bit of fear amongst them, but you know what? They have been brave this afternoon with regards the hard yards. They're tracking their runs, the shape of the team, the discipline they're showing. They're doubling up, they're helping each other out. This doesn't look like a performance of a team that are struggling. If you had no idea about Motherwell and the recent form and how poor they've been and the goals they've conceded, you wouldn't know that by judging on today's performance. I think they've been very, very strong. This is, I said earlier on, what Stuart Kettlewell instilled in the players when he first came in, and he got them galvanised and he got them moving forward. Clearly they haven't achieved anything, they haven't scored a goal, but they're more competitive than what some people would have given them credit for this afternoon.
St Mirren have just hit the bar now, Kenny. It comes from a corner. Livingston are a big side. I know St Mirren are as well, but they look like they're really struggling since that goal went in with their confidence. The ball goes back into the box. Taylor gets it wide. It comes in from Tanzer, I think it is. And I'm not quite sure who gets his head on it, but it loops, and the goalkeeper, Shamal George, just watches it, ricochets off the bar. Livingston under a bit of pressure now.
Falkirk cruising now at home to Fermanagh United. Ross McKay with a goal there on 39 minutes. Let's then get to Tynecastle. Hearts against St Johnstone there for us, Alan Preston.
Well, I thought Hearts were going to blow St Johnstone away after the initial 15 minutes, Kenny. They started really well. But St Johnstone, all credit to them. Phillips, Smith in the middle of the park are battling away. Kane up front with May. The 2 older guys for them really leading the line for them, and they've come right back in the game. Smith had an effort, hit the side net and had that chance for Robinson at the back post. Great save by Clark. It's more of an even match now as we've got 4 minutes to go to half time and it's 0-0.
Right, let's then get to John Robertson in Dingwall watching Ross County against Kelly. Who's in top there, John?
It's a very even game now, a bit like Alan. The first 20 minutes is all Ross County, and Jan Danda, the outstanding player. And I wonder, if he could probably be on the radar of clubs further up the food chain, so to speak, because he's the one causing all the problems. Kelly have battled back into it, and then they've kind of shaded off. Derek McInnes is getting very frustrated with Colin Stein, the referee. There's a lot of sort of little 50-50 calls. Kilmarnock are not getting any of them at the moment, but the game's just kind of settled down to both teams cancel each other. There's about 2 minutes to go. I think it could be 0-0 at half time.
Kenny Crawford brought us our first goal of the afternoon at Palmerston. Queen of the South at home to Dundee United. What's happening now, Kenny?
43 minutes gone, Kenny. A bit like what Alan Preston said about the Hearts game. First 15 minutes, this looked like Dundee United cruising it. They were 1-0 up. Kai Fotheringham's 8th goal of the season. Looked as if they would go on to score more, but then that goal by Queen of the South, which turned out to be Gavin Riley, his header was the final touch on that pinball in the box. His 10th of the season. That's changed everything. Lee Connolly had a good chance after that to put the Doonhamers 2-1 up, and since then Dundee United haven't really had a clear chance on goal. Their cohesion is gone. They're getting caught offside a lot, and it's just not happening for Jim Goodwin's men. So it's Queen of the South 1, Dundee United 1.
Yeah, very interesting game, that one down there at Palmerston. So in the Premiership this afternoon, a real dearth of goals. This happened a few weeks ago, Leanne, didn't it? With a real barrage in the second half. I can't remember what week it was, but it was something like 11 or 12 in the second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was crazy. I think you're right. Yeah, I think 11 goals we ended up with in the second half. Hopefully there's more of the same, to be fair.
Chance, it's off the line again. Ross County for the second time. Today's time with ball dropped to Randall. His shot was hit there, but Wright has managed to knock it off the line.
Just wonder if he could have took that first time, John.
He could have done that, but Derek McInnes was raging again because it looked like there was a handball in the build-up earlier on when they come on a counter-attack. Collins even let it run again, and they've gone through there, and you're right, it looked as if he could just put his foot through it, but he's jigged back inside, and that gave the Kilmarnock defenders a chance to get back on the line.
Yeah,
Still 0-0.
Tried to get it back onto that left foot, but I just thought it was coming across. Sat up lovely.
Kenny, Motherwell got a free kick about 25 yards from goal. Excellent play by Harry Pitt in the midfield. He was surrounded by 2 or 3 Celtic players. He just knocked the ball between them, change of pace, he was brought down. And Shane Blaney, who's got a little bit of history of scoring free kicks from distance. I remember he scored one for Sligo Rovers against Motherwell when Graham Alexander was a manager in the conference, the Europa League conference playoffs, and Graham Alexander lost his job subsequently after that. So he's over the ball, he fancies it. Blair Spittle's there as well. I mean, I said about the tension of the Celtic fans. Steve McLean has bought into it because Stephen O'Donnell refused to take a throw in because Dan Casey was coming to take it, and he booked him because the supporters around the outside are getting a little bit irate. Motherwell aren't playing to the tempo that Celtic want them to play to, but sometimes you're allowed to do because you have the ball and you can decide when you take the throw and when you take the free kick. So, big moment coming up. Can Shane Blaney hit the target?
Half-time in Dingwall, 0-0.
Thanks, Sean. Right, here we go. Could be a big moment.
Yeah, high and wide, Blair Spittle. I give Shane Blaney the big build-up and Blair Spittle took it.
Always the same, Craigs.
And in Athletic 0, Dumbarton 2, Ryan Wallace with the second goal on 42 minutes. Partick Thistle 2-0 up now at home to Queen's Park. Aidan Fitzpatrick on 41. Albion Rovers are behind in the Scottish Cup. A penalty for Bonnyrigg Rose. Neil Martinuke on 45 minutes there. So Albion Rovers 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1. Just touching there, Leanne, on that scoreline for Partick Thistle against Queen's Park. Really worrying times for the Queen's fans.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that there in terms of the championship table as well, and how it looks, what forms look like, and you know, we've spoken an awful lot about it, whether it's a working project, and you know, they're happy to accept that at Queen's Park, but they started the season, the kind of first 3 games, and we thought they were going to be the real deal and live up to the expectations and the performance levels that they produced last season, but it just doesn't look like it's going to play out like that, and they quickly go from being in games to well and truly out of games, and I think that's a concern because I know they're a young side, Queen's Park, and you probably at a point need to persevere with that, but no, it's worrying times.
Half time in the Scottish Cup. Trinent 0, Forfar Athletic 0, and a goal right on the stroke of half time for Morton. George Oakley has them 1-0 up at home to Bo'ness United. So still just playing out the first halves across the country there. What about St Mirren then? Worthy of that lead that they have there at home to Livy, Rory?
I mean, since they've scored, yes, but up until that point now, Livingston weren't pulling up any trees, but they've clearly came here to put in a battling performance. They're very direct, as I said early on. They've either gone direct up to Guthrie's head, or it's one of those runs between the wing back and the left or right fullback or centre back, of St Mirren from Bruce Anderson. They went 1-0 down, and that's fine if it's 0-0 and you're trying to scrap it out and grab a goal, but they need to add something else to their repertoire, I would say, in the second half.
Half time at Dens, 0-0. Sorry, it's not, it's 1-0 Hibs. Sorry, 1-0 Hibs.
Thanks, Chick. Amy, you've got another goal.
Right.
Are you there, Amy?
Nope.
I'm told we have another goal there. I've not seen it come through yet. It was 1 apiece. Are you there, Amy?
Hello, Kenny, yes, hello, sorry.
Half time at Tynecastle, 0-0.
Sorry, the line is really, really good, and yeah, it is 2-1 to Alloa. Connor Salmon getting on the end of Morgan Neal's header across the goal just before half time.
Thank you. There, a big goal. Stirling Albion 0, Cove Rangers 1. That's a half time. That's just coming through now. Connor Salmon with that goal. Dunbar United 1, Alloa Athletic 2. They were behind Alloa Athletic. Also a half time. Morton 1, Bo'ness United 0. That goal coming right on the stroke of half time for the home side. Alan Preston telling us at Tynecastle, Hearts 0, St John's 0. So far, so good for Craig Levine on his return to Tynecastle.
Half time in Dumfries, Kenny. Half time in Dumfries. It's Queen of the South 1, Dundee United 1. The Doonhamers have got a foothold in this tie.
Yeah, and it could be a big day for Marvin Bartley.
Half time here at Celtic Park. Celtic 0, Motherwell 0.
And the reaction of the home fans here, Stephen?
Grundled.
Yeah.
And a lot of the frustration has been vented towards Yang. I think he's got gradually worse as the game's went on. He started bright in the opening 10-15 minutes. His final pass, his cross, hasn't been what Brendan Rodgers would expect from him. So a lot of the anger's gone towards him. But I have to say, Motherwell have showed lots of resilience and lots of character, but Stuart Kettlewell wanted.
Half-time in Paisley, St Mirren 1, Livingston 0.
Thank you. Still waiting for some clarity. Certainly PA have not changed. The Wires have not changed that from that score. I don't know what it says in our website, Tom. I've not had a chance to look
Still
there.
Nottingham, I think.
Still, right, okay, we shall see.
It's a standoff between PA and BBC.
Well, the main thing is, it looks like St Mirren are back on track. It's only half-time, but they had gone through a tricky run of results there. Just confirming, Celtic 0, Motherwell 0, Borough Rangers 1, Pollock 0. That's a half-time score.
No, that's now a Kelly own goal, according to our website.
Yeah, that's what I've got certainly on here. Brighton have gone 2-1 up away at Nottingham Forest. That after being behind, Pedro with a goal there deep into first half stoppage time. So that's you right up to date with all the score lines. We'll give you a classified half time in a few minutes time, but full time reaction to come later. Remember, 5:30 until 7 o'clock tonight. Fans of lots of clubs are going to join us. Our music this evening is chosen by a really interesting character, I think it is fair to say. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for the halftime reports right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
Football from Sports Sound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We gave you the option of full commentary from Celtic Park this afternoon. They've reached half-time there. Celtic at home to Motherwell. Our commentary team, Pat Bonner and Alistair Lamond.
Celtic 0, Motherwell 0, and despite Celtic almost camping out in Motherwell's defensive third, they've been unable to find the breakthrough, and in all honesty they've failed to overly test Liam Kelly in the Motherwell goal. They did so for the first time when Matt O'Reilly had an instinctive effort that was matched by an instinctive save from Kelly. That came in around about 9 minutes as Celtic looked to get the early breakthrough, but they couldn't get it. Almost at the midway point in that first period, they almost did find a goal as Palma whipped in a dangerous corner from the left-hand side. He's done that a number of times, and on this occasion it took a glance of a Motherwell head at the near post and was heading into the back of the net before Liam Kelly reacted brilliantly and instinctively to claw the ball away and prevent the ball ending up in the back of his net. Beyond that, Motherwell have defended stoutly throughout, closing down Celtic, denying them goal scoring opportunities, and in fact the opening goal might have come at the other end with 10 minutes left in the first period as Joe Hart tried to come off his line to cut out a long clearance from Liam Kelly. He wasn't able to get there before Spittle. The ball wouldn't really quite break for Spittle, but it did come to Stephen O'Donnell about 35 yards out. He tried to lob it goalwards, and it required Cameron Carter-Vickers to get back just a couple of yards off the line to head it clear before it found its way into the back of the Celtic net. Beyond that, we haven't really had too many more goal scoring opportunities, Packy. It has been all about Celtic in terms of trying to break Motherwell down, but ultimately haven't been able to do so.
Yeah, unlike last week where they had lots of chances in the first half and scoring goals and not just then killed off Aberdeen. But Motherwell are a different opposition. They're well organised, they're strong in that defensive mode. Celtic have got to do a little bit more. I think Blair Spittle in the middle of the pitch is doing a really good job on Callum McGregor and stopping him. He has to work really hard to get on the ball, and that just slows play down then for Celtic. And by the time the ball gets to the wide guys, they're able to get bodies into good positions to cover, the wing back and so on. And they're just struggling to make those chances, and they'll have to do it slightly different, I think, in the second half. Motherwell's delighted to get a half time, and they can build on what they've done in that first half.
Yeah, well, it's halfway towards job done for Motherwell, but Celtic with 45 minutes to break them down in that second period. Half time at Celtic Park. Celtic 0, Motherwell 0.
Full second half commentary to come from Al and Pat Bonner there. Let's then get to Tynecastle. Hearts at home to St Johnstone. There for us, Alan Preston.
Hi Ken, and it's now at half time, and it looked like Hearts were going to blow St Johnstone out the water early on the first 15 minutes. A wonderful move after 4 minutes, started it right back over to Cochrane in the left back area. He had a lovely nutmeg on Costello. He followed his run. There was a 4-man move after it, and Cochrane was on the end of it, but a great save by Mitov. Boyce then had a header again just wide of the target. and then another boy's effort was saved by Mitov, and then he also boys hit the side netting, and you're thinking it's only a matter of time before Hearts scored. But St Johnstone, all credit to them, grew into the game. Smith was great. He got to the byline, clipped one back, and there was Robinson coming in at the back post from about 4 yards out, and he's hit it. And Clark's managed to save it. As instinctive, just seemed to hit the keeper but away, but a really good save by him. Then Kane to Smith, and Smith hit the side netting with a shot. St Johnstone grew into this game in that opening period as the game went on. Craig Levine's return to Tynecastle is going according to plan as far as he's concerned, but certainly not as far as the Hearts fans are concerned. The score is Hearts 0, St Johnstone 0.
Our next stop is Dingwall. John Robertson is watching the game. Ross County against Kilmarnock.
And similarly, it's Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0, and it's the home side who've had the better of the opening 45 minutes, and no surprise, Jan Danda has been at the heart of everything. The first 30 seconds he went down the right hand side, whipped one across the face of the goals with no one able to get on the end of it, and a few minutes later he was through, cut the ball back for James Brown. Brown's shot was cleared, hacked off the line by the Kilmarnock Mayo, and it just procession kept coming. Then Jan Danda cut inside, a 25-yard drive down to the left hand side, well saved by William Dennis, and again the same man set up Connor Randall, who cut in on his left foot, rather hit it first time his right, and that was hacked off the line by Joe Wright. And so in response, Kilmarnock have really only shown flashes, and again we talk about Jan Danda for County. There's no surprise that it's Daniel Armstrong who showed a couple of flashes for Kilmarnock. One of them he cut inside from the right hand side, played a lovely little one too. His shot was airing towards the right hand corner, got a big deflection, and somehow Ross Laidlaw managed to knock it past. But it's the home team on top, but there are no goals here in Dingwall, where it remains Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0.
We have seen a goal at Dens Park. Dundee at home to Hibs. There for us, Chick Young.
Yeah, the goal that was scored was the outstanding performer at half time. Was Tavares, who scored after 16 minutes to give Hibernian a lead. Dundee have been terrific actually in the wake of that, and indeed before that, despite the fact there's only one goal in that first half. There's been some terrific football from both sides, goal-mouth opportunities, and perhaps McCowan could have had one or at least two goals. The game has flowed on a surface which the players have used with great style. Tavares was just brilliant with his early touches. As I say, faded a little bit towards half-time. I'm quite sure Dundee can get an equaliser in this game though. Half-time, the situation is Dundee 0, Hibs 1.
Let's then get to Paisley St Mirren at home to Livingston. This game watched by Rory Loy.
Yes indeed, and it stands at half-time. St Mirren 1, Livingston 0. The action got underway after a couple of minutes. A lovely raking diagonal ball from Marcus Fraser led to Greg Kiltie whipping a ball into the box, and O'Hara's header went wide of the post. Just back in the team, the captain, he's been pretty good today so far, Mark O'Hara. On to 6 minutes, and Bruce Anderson had a snapshot on the half volley which flew high, wide and handsome. The standout player on the pitch for me, the one that's really shown a bit of composure and skill at times, has been Greg Kiltie. He had some lovely skill in the 13th minute on the touchline with a nice nutmeg and turn. He was heavily involved in the goal as well, which I'll get to a little bit later on. In the 34th minute, Michael Nottingham hit the crossbar from a corner. He did really well, used all his neck muscles, and the goalkeeper of St Mirren, Zach Hemming, could only stand and watch as it ricocheted back off his crossbar. And then Greg Kiltie got in down the left hand side of the Livingston defence. He actually shot, could have pulled it back, but he decided to shoot. It was pushed into the path of Mandaron, who was, going at it with Nottingham, who was trying to clear the ball. Who it hit last as it went into the net, I'm not quite sure. I'm the Strikers Union, so I'm going to say it was Mikael Mandaron, but that was what put St Mirren 1-0 up. 41 minutes, Ayunga also hit the bar from a corner. Livingston showing some battling qualities but lacking a bit of finesse. St Mirren not at their fast flowing best, however have managed to find a lead. It's St Mirren 1, Livingston 0.
So half times in the Scottish Premiership: Celtic 0, Motherwell 0, Dundee 0, Hibs 1, Hearts 0, St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0, and as we've just been hearing, St Mirren 1, Livingston 0. Let's then get into our two featured games in the third round of the Scottish Cup and head to Palmerston, Queen of the South, at home to Dundee United. There for us, Kenny Crawford.
Half-time, Queen of the South 1, Dundee United 1. What initially looked like it would be a straightforward stroll for the Tangerines has developed into treacherous terrain in Dumfries. United started fast, and Kai Fothering's 8th of the season, a back post header from Glenn Middleton's cross, seemed to put them in total control. But the Doonhamers dug deep and found something on 17 minutes. The lively Lee Connolly's corner prompted pinball in the United box, and local lad Gavin Riley got the final header from close range to equalise, his 10th of the campaign, and Dundee United haven't looked the same since. Queen of the South 1, Dundee United 1 at half-time.
Thank you to Kenny Crawford. So all the half-times in the Scottish Cup this afternoon: Albion Rovers 0, Bonnie Rose 1, Annan Athletic 0, Dumbarton 2, Brother Rangers 1, Pollock 0, Broxburn Athletic 0, Bucky Thistle 0. Bucky are down to 10 men. Cumnock Juniors 0, Broomhill 1, Dunbar United 1, Alloa Athletic 2, Falkirk 3 for Martin United 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Cowdenbeath 0, Montrose 0, Edinburgh City 0, Morton 1, Bowness United 0. That goal coming right on the stroke of half-time. Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 0, Peterhead 0, Ayr United 0, Queen of the South 1, Dundee United 1, Spartans 1, Arbroath 0, Stirling Albion 0, Cove Rangers 1, Stranraer 0, Airdrie 1, and Tranent 0, Forfar Athletic 0. So that's you right up to date with all the latest score lines in the third round of the Scottish Cup. A reminder, the draw for the fourth round, you will see that on Sports Scene tomorrow evening, so join the team for that. That's, of course, when the big clubs come into this. The draw will be really interesting. Watch it live on Sports Scene tomorrow evening. I'm just waiting, Leanne, for the second halves to get underway. We're seeing the pictures coming in from that game at Celtic Park. We spoke about Stuart Kettlewell. We heard from the Motherwell manager, 9 games without a win. But my goodness, if they can hang on today, what a difference that would make.
Yeah, it would be massive in terms of just, I think, a feel-good factor for the club. Just the fact that, you know, it won't just be Stuart Kettlewell that feels under pressure. I know that the player group will feel the exact same. But look, they've given a good account of themselves for the opening 45 minutes. What I would need to say is I've more often than not this season seen a stronger second half performance from Celtic. I think under Brendan Rodgers there's more 0-0s have crept into the performances this season than you ever seen under Ange Postecoglou's side last season. They've got good strength and depth that come off the bench. Don't think Motherwell have quite got that same level of quality that they can introduce into the game, so it'll be a huge ask for them. But I think the reality, more than not to be too pessimistic, is the reality of them winning the game at Celtic Park today was unlikely. To go and even get a draw would be a very good result, but more importantly, you don't want to go and ship a barrow load of goals similar to what we've seen Aberdeen do against Celtic a couple of weeks back. So if Motherwell can keep up the performance levels, I'm sure it will give Stuart Kettlewell a bit of confidence going into the next run of fixtures as well.
Yeah, and you touched on that, Stephen Craigan, earlier as well, didn't you? You said that after this game today the fixtures are more favourable for Motherwell.
Well, I'm saying more favourable. If they don't get anything from today's game, it's 10. If they don't win today, it's 10 games without a win. So, favourable is probably quite a strong word to use for it, because they're still searching to try and break this cycle. I was feeling quite optimistic there until I heard Leanne's reflection of the game that Celtic gets so much better in the second half, and there's a good chance he could score a barrel load of goals. It's okay. Listen, I was just talking to Packy briefly that today was going to be a huge ask. It really was. And Stuart spoke during the week, and he spoke ahead of the game with Carradine. He wanted to see character from his players. He wanted to see that they could be brave and they could go and stand not toe-to-toe with Celtic, because Celtic have been the more dominant team. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But when you're an underdog and you're trying to upset the odds, this is the kind of way the game goes, that you have to ride out your luck. You have to defend your box. You'll get minimal time on the ball, but whatever possession you do get, you've got to try and be productive with it. And I think Motherwell have tried to be productive. However, the work ethic and the desire to get back behind the ball when the ball turns over in Celtic's favour has been really, really impressive for me. So it's 45 minutes. I've been here in the past myself, when you're 0-0 at half time and you think, well, okay, we're half a job done, and within 10 minutes a game can be taken away from you. That's a quality Celtic have, and that's what Stuart Kettlewell will have to guard against with his players. But there's no doubt Celtic will go again and keep on pushing, and if they have to, they'll make subs and put even more pressure on. But 45 minutes well done, but there's a hell of a lot more work to do.
Yeah, there certainly is. I can just see the players coming back out at Celtic Park. So let's once again give you that choice of listening. For full commentary of Celtic against Motherwell, tune to BBC Radio Scotland on digital, Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds and 810 Media Wave. And for open all mics, choose BBC Sounds and 92 to 95 FM.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Real dearth of goals in the top flight in the first half, but stay with us. A couple of weeks ago we saw this and they were flying in the second period. Just looking at Ayunga for St Mirren, Leanne, you'll have had injuries yourself, significant injuries in your career, 300 days out with an ACL. How are you feeling as a player when you get back in the park? Are you holding back? Are you nervous?
Well, look, it's tough, and for me, I've never thankfully experienced an injury like that. Even in the Championship last night, we spoke about Lewis Vaughan, who suffered 4 of those injuries. Players that I've played alongside that have suffered the likes, Fiona Brown, another one, 4 ACL injuries. Rachel Corsey, when we were flatmates back in our Glasgow City days, she suffered an ACL rupture, and it's one of the toughest things. Even at Motherwell, since I've been there, 2 of the players unfortunately have suffered the same injury, and it's tough. It's really tough to see them in that place as well. But look, the character and mental strength, and hats off to any player that manages to fight back for that type of injury, not just once, as I'm referencing 2, 3, 4 times. It takes a real different type of character to do that, to then get back to the same performance levels. But the good thing now is that most clubs, they offer good support in terms of sports science, strength and conditioning. It's a meticulous process to get you back. So throughout that 300 days, it's been a gradual build-up. So by the time the player actually gets on the pitch, for us to see in a televised game or highlights where you get along to watch them, they've come through at a hefty build-up to get there, and you would hope by that point are fairly robust. I can only imagine at the first couple of training sessions, when you're back in amongst it with your teammates, there's a bit of apprehension. But as I say, there's so many fitness tests now that give you that reassurance that your body is exactly where it should be to return to play. So good to see Ayunga back as well, a player that's obviously been in Scotland for a number of seasons and a big player for St Mirren.
Yeah, he's all that. And Stephen Leanne mentioned the word character there in terms of Ayunga. That's one of the words. What character, commitment, concentration for these Motherwell players. You'd imagine it's going to be relentless in the second period at Celtic Park.
It is, and Brendan Rodgers has made a change at half-time. Offers went home and on as came O. So I think that means that O will play right up against the 3 Motherwell centre-halves as a free kick comes from the right-hand side, just misses everyone out. That will then allow Kyogo to go wandering, because Motherwell were so deep that when there was lots of crosses coming in, Kyogo was getting out-muscled, he was getting outnumbered. So O brings a different prospect. He's physical, he'll get across people, he'll win more headers. It means then Kyogo can go wandering and drift off and pick up little pockets of space. So a different challenge, exactly. Motherwell will have to defend, but ultimately they still have to have that counter-punch. You can't sit and absorb and hope you're not going to get beat, otherwise the inevitable happens.
Burnley 1-0 up at home to West Ham United. Jay Rodriguez with a goal on 49 minutes. Annan back in it in the Scottish Cup tie at home to Dumbarton. Kai Nugent on 48 minutes. Annan 1, Dumbarton 2. Broomhill now 2-0 up away at Cumnock. Corey O'Donnell with a second goal there on 49 minutes. Let's then get to Chick Young-Hayes at Dens Park, the home side in control there, Chick.
No, not really. The Hibs have just started this sign. I mean, it is end to end. Dundee are getting forward now, quite much when a corner kick, but just a moment ago, what a bit of skill by Martin Boyle for Hibs. Just took the ball in his chest in the halfway line, turned magnificently, and went off in a mazy solo run.
Goal for Queen of the South!
The box.
Wow, Kenny Crawford.
It's Lee Connolly who's turned it in on the 6-yard box. Brilliant work by Harvey Walker down the left-hand side. What a turnaround in this game. Lee Connolly's first goal in the season. He just side-footed it in, changed the direction of the ball slightly, and it went past Jack Walton into the bottom right-hand corner. But brilliant build-up play by Harvey Walker. Queen of the South 2, Dundee United 1.
What a turnaround, fantastic news, fantastic relief for these long-suffering supporters and for manager Marvin Bartley. Queens could have been 2 or 3 down, Kenny was telling us early on, but they hung in there, they fought back, and now they are ahead against the Championship leaders Dundee United in the 3rd round of the Scottish Cup. Cove Rangers going very, very well now under Paul Hartley. They're now 2-0 up away at Stirling Albion. Kyle Connell on 50.
It's about red card. Surely a red card. Oh, it's an unbelievable solo run right through the centre of the Hibs defence. I think maybe it's Cameron, is it? I don't know. Solo run's a yellow card and brought down outside the box. He's just the momentum took him past about 4 or 5 players. He was thundering towards the 18-yard box, brought down. I'm thinking to myself, that's got to be a penalty. Well, certainly was a clear goal-scoring opportunity, but it was a brutal attack, premeditated at the end of the free kick, and a yellow card. But that was a tremendous bit of play by Dundee, who get themselves an opportunity to maybe get the equaliser. It was actually
never won underplay things.
Tremendous run.
A brutal attack, Alan. A brutal attack.
Honestly, a penalty. You got a penalty for 3 yards away from the
Premeditated
goal.
brutal attack.
And a red card.
And there's no penalty, there's no red card.
No, there's nothing. Nothing.
Challenged.
I think he's playing the PlayStation like the Queen of the South players.
Partick Thistle now 3-0 up home to Queen's Park. Aidan Fitzpatrick on 50 minutes there. They're absolutely cruising the Firhill side there. Queens, as we were saying, really struggling. They got to a flying start in the league, but it's been downhill ever since, and they look like exiting the Scottish Cup unless they can mount some sort of miraculous comeback at Firhill this afternoon. Let's then get to Alan Preston at Tynecastle. What's happening there, Alan? What about the home fans? They get a bit frustrated?
They are, yeah, and it's a big crowd, Kenny, 18,678, and St Johnstone sold out their allocation, so it shows you what they're thinking of the change of manager, the way the team are going, and they've been excellent. Second half they've been the better side again, getting forward. Not been many chances, but really, really, there's a chance at the back post this time for Gordon. Oh, knocks it away. It's offside flag's gone up. St Johnstone
Kenny, brilliant
really
save by Harry Stone there, the Queen of the South goalkeeper. Louis Moult had to score. It was a cross by Fotheringham. He actually chested it towards goal, but the only place he shouldn't have put it was where Harry Stone was, so it's still Queen of the South winning 2-1 against United.
Arbroath have equalised away at Spartans. David Gold on 49 minutes. That's one apiece. Ryan Stevenson sent off for Bowness United in the Scottish Cup. Let's get to John Robertson in Dingle. Ross County against Kilmarnock. What's happening in the early stages of the second period there, John?
Yeah, County started really sharp again. There are 3 corners in the first minute of the second half, but they've not really tested the Kilmarnock goalkeeper. Kilmarnock battling back in there with just a wee slight concern for Alan Preston. His player Robbie Dees went galloping down the wing and ended up in the second row of the stand behind the goals. Such was his pace. Open the gates, biscuits, I would suggest there, but it's still 0-0.
He's done really well, hasn't he, at Killie, making the step up?
He's a good player, honestly. Very. I know I'm biased, but he's got everything you want. He's
that looked a pull. Have a wee look at Paisley, Leanne.
And his attitude is magnificent.
Here we are.
I mean, I don't know if you can see that any better from where you're sat, Kenny.
It's a bit closer to me, but it's not a great picture. We're just going to have a wee look now. The ball into the box.
It's a great ball from Kilty.
Yeah.
The referee's just saying wait.
Yeah, and then the referee said play on, so he obviously didn't feel there was enough.
It's incredible, Rory, that you're managing to get through this entire game and that pitch is not completely thawed out yet.
I know.
That top half.
I know. No, you're right. And the second half is kind of played out very similar to the first. St Mirren have a structure, a way of playing. David Martindale's losing his rag at Bruce Anderson. They're lumping balls up to him, and he's telling him to hold it in against Richard Taylor, who's twice his size, and Gogic the same, Marcus Fraser, all aggressive players. Now, I understand as a striker,
you need to trying to defend a striker, Rory.
No, but I understand you need to hold it up, but that's Bruce Anderson's in the team to score goals and being around the penalty box. You need to ask Curtis Guthrie to do that. So, I feel a bit sorry for Anderson, I have to say. And just to update you, apparently it was a Sean Kelly own goal. You know, that's kind of filtered through. Martin Dowden went and did a little bit of asking around, so apparently it was, which took me by surprise, I have to say. I didn't think he was anywhere near it. So Sean Kelly apparently is officially the own goal scorer of that goal.
It wouldn't matter. Two St Mirren fans there ahead there. Bournemouth cruising away at Sheffield United, 3-0 up thanks to Marcus Tavernier in 51, his second goal of the game. Spartans are back in front. That equaliser didn't last long for our bro, so 2-1 Jamie Dishington on 50 minutes, and Annan have fought back. 2-0 down they were at home to Dumbarton. Dominic Dockery has got them back on level terms, 2 apiece there after 55 minutes.
Has to be a change for Hearts. The fans are getting really frustrated, Kenny. It's got to be Oda for Forest. Been really poor for us today. You know, Oda brings you energy in the wider areas. We'll soon see what they do, but they need to do something, because St Johnstone, and I've got to say, Craig Levein, he's only been in a couple of weeks, but the team shape already, the way they're trying to play, I mentioned that against Ross County, is different from what they're used to, and they're doing very, very well at the moment.
Can we have a stoppage in play here at Celtic Park? There's a clash of heads between Micah Beareth and Liam Scales. Beareth is up and has been patched up and is ready to go back on, but Liam Scales is still getting treatment. I don't know if Leanne can see in the pictures whether there's a mark or blood or something, but certainly there's a stoppage.
Certainly looks like they're treating the wound as it is, and looks to be his forehead at the front of his head. Whether they look like they're potentially gluing it or doing something with it, because there's quite a bit of substantial treatment. I know they were just waving a couple of players away that were kind of hanging around. And Micah Beareth as well looked like he'd come out, had a sore one as well, certainly drew blood. He's been patched up, some Vaseline was put on it. He's back on his feet. Hopefully we see Liam Scales get back to his feet, but whether he'll be fit to continue to resume to play on, we'll need to wait and find out.
Yeah, a long delay there. We'll keep you posted on that one.
Philip's just seen in the pictures there as well. He's certainly been readied just in case.
Well, he's out warming up. You know, Brendan Rodgers has shown no urgency to look towards him to get him stripped. So the message from the medical staff must be that we can get him patched up and he can go on ahead. But when you're a visiting team and you're now talking 3, 4, 5 minutes, clearly this is going to be added on at the end. So if Motherwell get anywhere near potentially getting something out of this game, it isn't going to end just at 90. This is going to go deep, and we know what happened when Celtic played Aberdeen last time out, conceded 3 goals in that 90 plus.
Absolutely, chance there.
Yeah, Kucheravi is on his left foot for St Johnstone. You can hear the fans in the background, Kerry. Really disappointed by the Hearts' second half performance. Kucheravi, a lovely hit, good save by Clark. He's near post, there's a chance. Kent boots it away. You can hear the booing in the background here.
Talk to us about that, Alan. We'll get a Hearts fan join us later in the programme. Talk to us about the position of the manager, Stephen Naismith. Is he under pressure? Now, I know we use that phrase a lot, but it sounds to me as if he's got to be doing better.
Well, you know what, he's fourth in the league. I think the way that they went out the cup at a whimper against Rangers was disappointing for everyone. But, you know, if we can get them third or fourth in the league, there's going to be given a little bit of time. But at the moment, it's not going well at all. Now, they've all started to get players back. Craig Gordon's coming back. Halkett, they've played reserve matches, B-team games, however you want to call them, friendlies. So they're starting to come back, but they need to do something.
Goal for Dundee United, equaliser. It's 2-2, and it's Kai Fotheringham again. There was a bit of a pause because we thought the referee and the linesman might give offside, but nothing's been raised in terms of a flag, and Kai Fotheringham has blasted it from about 16 yards into the bottom right-hand corner. Queen of the South 2, Dundee United 2.
It looked very good. A great fight back.
We've got a goal here. We've got a goal with Dens Barnes, a second for Hibs. It's Lewis Miller with the header. Corner on the right-hand side. Joe Newell took it, and he got up to Miller above the entire Dundee defence, got the header on it and put it beyond Trevor Carson. Dundee were getting themselves back into it, but that could be a real nail in the coffin for them. It's a second goal for Hibs. It's Dundee 0, Hibs 2.
Yeah, I saw him as I touched on this earlier, the St Mirren Hibs game. He's a big unit, Lewis Miller. He's a real threat, isn't he?
Yes, no, he's a bit of a powerhouse, and probably one of those ones as a manager as well. You make a tactical change. I think they made the double sub just a minute, if that, chick before the ball's in the back of the net. So it gives the side a lift as well.
Go for Levitt and Josh Campbell.
Yeah.
And just before that,
So you've just brought in, you get your second goal and you get that fresh injection of energy as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Dundee respond now, if they can put up a fight and get a goal to get back in the game.
That goal coming through on 58 minutes. Also in 58 minutes, just confirmation what Kenny was saying there. A double for Kai Fotheringham has Dundee United back on level terms in the third round of the Scottish Cup away at Queen of the
Kenny,
South.
just on that, the reason there was so much anger from Queen of the South was because the ball was played over to Kai Fotheringham. They felt, and Marvin Bartley certainly felt, that he controlled it with his hand before he bore down in goal and finished it. So they were annoyed that the linesman didn't raise his flag to signal handball.
A decent crowd in there, I imagine. A big travelling support, Kenny.
A decent travelling support, I'd say about 1,500 Dundee United fans down at the Terrigal Street end there, and the Queen of the South fans are absolutely raging at the moment, and the referee's actually over speaking to Marvin Bartley at the moment because everyone's just pretty hot-tempered about that decision. He's just been yellow carded.
An update from Celtic Park, Stephen Craigan.
Well, both players are back on, and of course, as is normally with a head knock, the minute the ball gets played forward, Micah Beareth went up and had the head exactly where he had the head knock, and the Vaseline has slipped off the side of his head. But play resumed, Celtic on the attack, pushing and probing. All just brings something different, because the Motherwell players against Kyogo, they can almost physically outmuscle him. But I just think when you've got O in the team, it just means he can throw a lot more balls in. He's physical against them, so he's proven a tough test.
Peterhead have gone a goal up against Ayr United in the Scottish Cup. That goal scored by Kieran Shanks on 60 minutes there. So the latest scorelines across the country: Celtic 0, Motherwell 0, Dundee 0, Hibs 2. That second goal coming from the head of Lewis Miller on 58 minutes. Hearts 0, St Johnstone 0. Alan Tellens, the home fans getting very restless there. Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0. A decent start, I think you would say, for Derek Adams, his third spell as manager of the Dingwall club. St Mirren 1, Livingston 0. That has come through as a Sean Kelly own goal on 37 minutes. I will run through all the latest scores in the third round of the Scottish Cup. Albion Rovers 0, Bonnyrigg Groves 1, Annan Athletic 2, Dumbarton 2, Brora Rangers 1, Pollock 0, Broxman Athletic 0, Bucky Thistle 0, Cumnock Juniors 0, Broomhill 2, Dunbar United 1, Alloa Athletic 2, Falkirk 3 for Martin United 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Cowden Beath 0, Montrose 0, Edinburgh City 0, Morton 1, Bowness United 0, Partick Thistle 3, Queen's Park 0, Peterhead 1. That goal
for Liam Boyce. They're shouting for offside. St Johnstone, they're saying that I think it's Shanklin's maybe in the line of Mitov, but Cochrane gets to the byline, he whips it back. It's a shot by Boyce, slight deflection. Mitov's out. He thinks that Shanklin's in his eye line. The flag didn't go up, but you have a look at Leanne.
We've seen a few of these.
Yeah, we'll get a look at it. It certainly looks a good goal. Anyway, we'll look at the offside in a second, but the cutback looks good down that left-hand side. Boyce, yeah, really cool, composed with the finish, good contact on it. Hopefully we'll get a better angle to get an idea of, I mean, you talk about interpretation. I don't even think Shanklin looks offside, if I'm being honest, for that angle that I've just seen, Kenny. I don't know if you have seen it differently.
I'm also not sure he's interfering, Leanne, to be honest. I think he's a bit further away than...
Puts the ball in. Yeah, it's going to be really tight if he's deemed actually...
It's a red card.
Yes, Chuck.
It's a red card. So Dundee thought they had a penalty. It was an attack down the left side. Owen Beck, good skills. He's brought down.
Looks as if it was inside the
yellow
area.
card, and Beck, well, he's not, haven't got a penalty. They were claiming for that. They've given a free kick, I think, outside the box.
Yeah,
there was a yellow card and then a red card flash. No player has moved.
Yeah, it's
I'm
Miller.
not sure what exactly.
Miller's been sent off. It's 2 yellow cards. He's been sent off. He's already booked.
Yeah, so it was a trip, and it's outside the box.
He's given a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, and Miller's received his second yellow of the day.
Yeah, that's a check. He's taking a long walk now.
Was that premeditated assault, Leanne?
He's really clumsy, to be fair. Beck did really well, Chick.
It's a booking.
It was on Beck who brought down. It was great skill by Beck.
He's going to get away from him if he doesn't. And then it continues almost inside the penalty area. Silly one from Miller. You know, he's had a good afternoon. He's got the goal. He's on a yellow card. It's risky. And with the referee's just drawn the shaving foam, it's literally a couple of centimetres for the edge of the penalty area.
Just to explain, it's right at the side. It's only about a couple of yards from the byline, so The 6-yard box is absolutely packed for this. Dundee need to get themselves back into it. There's going to be a change down there as well. I don't know if that'll be made before the free kick is taken. They're trying to accelerate it. It's going to be Paul Hanlon coming on in a second. I think the free kick will be taken first, so the Hibs will need to defend this. Interesting situation. It's absolutely packed in that 6-yard box. Let's see what comes of this. Oh, they're holding back the change. Yeah, Hanlon's Denty's gone off and Hanlon's come on before this free kick's taken, so he'll go back to the defensive armoury in the box for Hibs. Let's see what Dundee can do with this. They've got a defensive wall of Hibs just outside the 6-yard box on the line going back to the byline. Here comes the free kick. Played low, he must score! And they have scored! Oh, but past the post. People stood up in front of me as well. Leanne, you picked that up. A crowd stood up in front of me. They looked as if I thought the ball was getting into the net. What happened there? Talk me through, Leanne.
I've no idea. Well, it was right into the arms of David Marshall is what's happened. I think it's come through the cluster of bodies as you described. Really nicely worked. Free kick, I would need to say, but straight into the arms.
Penalty, Celtic Park.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Celtic turned the ball over in midfield. Kyogo drives forward, plays the ball into Palmer, who fizzes it across goal. Beres Mugabe gets the touch. Liam Kelly pulls off a brilliant save because it's about to go into the back of the net. And I think it's always about to have the shot. I'm not too sure who interferes with O, but he makes contact with the player without touching the ball, which means it's a penalty. It's a Beres Mugabe, which means it's a penalty kick.
Mugabe gets the contact initially. Kelly makes a save and he tries to rectify almost his mistake, Mugabe. It's a penalty. I think all day it's a penalty.
I'm just waiting. What about the keeper, Leanne? I'm just waiting to see. I only just looked up and saw the ball getting parried out. I didn't see whether the keeper, Liam Kelly, he's not had a good few weeks. I think it's fair to say.
Catches him off guard. I think the contact from Mugabe puts it towards his own goal.
Right.
I think it's going in, Leanne, is it?
Yeah, no,
it's going in.
He makes the save.
It's actually a really good save, but he can't get a strong enough hand to get it around the post to get it away from goal. So clearly it will go to VAR. I'm not too sure if it's been confirmed yet, but it looks like a penalty.
The one thing that's going to go against Mugabe's wrong side as well.
So here we are. Oh yeah, it was a very good save.
Penalties given, confirmed.
Right, Morton 2-0 up now and hold the Bonesh United. Jack Bairn on 63 minutes. Newcastle United 2, Chelsea 1. Jamal Lascelles on 60 minutes. Brighton 3-1 up away at Forest. Yeah, Pedro from the penalty spot on 58 minutes. Confirmation of that second yellow card. The red card shown to Lewis Miller of Hibs. They are down to 10 men. Newcastle now 3-1 up at home to Chelsea. Joe Linton on 61. Montrose are 1-0 up at home to Edinburgh City. Paul Watson on 63 minutes there. That goal's been given to Lawrence Shanklin. He must have got a touch from that boy's shot there. That's been given as a Hearts goal in 61 minutes. Credited to Shanklin. Broomhill cruising 3-0 up away at Cumnock. Alistair McComb on 65 minutes. Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, it's Palmer who is decided he's taking the penalty kick. He makes his run up, goes up with Liam Kelly. Little pause, little jink. Oh! He never guess what? He's absolutely saved it. You can hear this crowd. I have to tell you, there's people around me that were looking at me, they were pointing, they were waiting to see what I was going to do. And no one has moved since the penalty kick was set. Wow, what a save from Liam Kelly down to his right-hand side. Steve McLean.
Has he gone early?
Well, Steve McLean,
screen.
like I say, he has just said, finger to his ear, he has pointed to the corner kick. So the corner kick is going to happen.
What about that penalty technique? I mean,
I hate it, Kenny.
Yeah, so just tell the listeners what happened there.
What's the stutter, isn't it? He stops it and he almost actually comes to a complete stop, I would need to say, Stephen, just before he then makes the connection.
Which you're not allowed to do, Leanne. You have to keep moving forward as you do.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think he's put himself off because Liam Kelly waits, he almost takes a half step forward and then he gives himself just the ability to go and then spring down to Liam Kelly's right-hand side. It's a good save, it's a big save, and certainly for the efforts that Motherwell have put into this game, it could be a big moment in the game for sure.
And a big moment for Motherwell because on comes David Turnbull. And we know what David Turnbull can do from distance. So will he come back to haunt his old club? Let's wait and see. He's on and Mikey Johnson's on as well.
Forth Athletic 1-0 up away at Trinent in the Scottish Cup. Matty Allen on 68 minutes. Luton Town 0, Crystal Palace 1. Odsonne Edouard with a goal for Palace on 66 minutes. And Hamilton Accies are behind at home to Kelty Hearts, also in the Scottish Cup. Reece Lyon on 66 minutes. Do we have a chance there?
Chance for Dundee again. It's Luke McCowan. He's been outstanding, actually. So skillful on the ball, so controlled. Just managed to make it, take two Hibs defenders out of it, turned through inside left channel and drove it just over the crossbar. In fact, the goalkeeper David Marshall got a touch on that, just put to make it ensure it went safely over the crossbar. Another corner to Dundee. They're battling. One goal would make this very interesting.
Have they changed anything, Chick? Have they thrown anybody else up top? Have they looked to try and be a bit more positive just after the sending off?
Well, I think it was that and a combination of Hibs just getting forced back a little bit. They've kind of only, in terms of getting forward, Martin Boyle's the lone opportunity, getting pushed forward. They've decided to sit in a little bit here and then maybe been forced by Dundee, but it's been all Dundee since the ordering off. Another chance coming in, another header just over the crossbar. Miller, of course, sent off, second yellow card for that earlier tackle, and then a second there for the challenge, which led to the free kick, sent off for that. Remember, Tavares and Miller have given Hibs a 2-0 lead, and that's how it stands at the moment, but Dundee can get themselves back into this.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'll give you the latest score lines across Scotland. So Celtic 0, Motherwell 0. Louis Palmer with that penalty save by Liam Kelly. Dundee 0, Hibs 2. The goals coming from Yer Tavares on 16, Lewis Miller on 58. Miller then sent off on 63 minutes. Hearts 1, St Johnstone 0. Lawrence Shanklin has been given that goal just past the hour mark. Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0. St Mirren 1, Livingston 0. That's down as a Sean Kelly own goal on 37 minutes. In the third round of the Scottish Cup, remember the fourth round draw live on Sports Team tomorrow. Albion Rovers 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Annan Athletic 2, Dumbarton 2. Annan fighting back from 2 goals down. Brora Rangers 1, Pollok 0, Broxman Athletic 0, Bucky Thistle 0, Cumnock Juniors 0, Broomhill 3, Dunbar United 1, Alloa Athletic 2, Falkirk 3 for Martin United 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Kelty Hearts 1, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Cowden Beath 0, Montrose 1, Edinburgh City 0, Morton 2, Bowness United 0. Bowness down to 10 men. Partick Thistle cruising at home to Queen's Park 3-0 there at Firhill. Peterhead 1, Ayr United 0. A shock on the cards there. Queen of the South 2, Dundee United 2. We'll get to Kenny Crawford at Palmerston in the next couple of minutes. Spartans 2, Arbroath 1. Arbroath had equalised. Spartans back in front. Stirling Albion 0, Cove Rangers 2. Cove going very well now under Paul Hartley. Stranraer 0, Airdrie 1, Trinent 0, Forfar Athletic 1 in England this afternoon. The lunchtime kick-off finish, Manchester City 1, Liverpool 0. City had been ahead. Burnley 1, West Ham United 0, Luton 0, Crystal Palace 0. That Odsonne Edouard goal has been chopped off. Newcastle United 3, Chelsea 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Sheffield United 0, Bournemouth 3. 5:30 kick-off, the London derby, Brentford at home to Arsenal. Tom English is back in the studio. Tom, we haven't had to speak really about VAR this afternoon. I touched on this earlier. You ran a poll on social. Wait a minute. On you go.
Chance for St Johnstone. It's a really good play on the left-hand side. Stevie made it the bio, and I think it's Costello coming in at the back post. It just evades him, just too high, when it would have been easy to nod it into the back of the net. We're 72 minutes in the clock, 1-0 still with Hearts.
Right, I just wonder, Stephen Craigan, if there might be a possible red card check at Celtic Park. I don't know if you're seeing anything on your screens, but the challenge from Greg Taylor, I mean in the stadium screens, whether it's come up to say there's an ongoing check or not.
No, Steve McLean jogging went the other way. Yeah, although a couple of Motherwell players, Dan Case in particular, was asking Steve McLean about the tackle. It was Greg Taylor on Blair Spittle, is that right?
He grazes the top of Spittle's shin. He almost goes over he misses the ball, kind of goes over the top, and the slightest of contacts. It does look probably reckless, so a yellow card is probably fine, but it's the point of contact at times. Just the more they were showing it in the screen there, I thought this might be one that the referee gets kind of flagged over to look at, but play's going on, I see.
Yeah, play's resumed. I've got to say, Motherwell really for the last 10-12 minutes have been camped in. I know the first half Celtic dominated, but Motherwell got out a few occasions there, really have been camped in. I don't know whether Stuart Kettlewell and Stevie Frail decided to change something because the players are looking a little bit fatigued.
Right, Annan, what a terrific fight back. 2-0 down they were at home to Dumbarton. They're now 3-2 up. Aidan Smith with a goal there on 73 minutes. Crystal Palace had a goal disallowed. Odsonne Edouard have now fallen behind to Luton Town. Teddy Mengi with a goal for the home side there on 72 minutes. Let's go round the grounds now. We'll get back to Tom Miggs. Let's get to Chick Young. A really eventful game for you there at Dens Park, Chick.
Thoroughly entertaining from the start. You know, the game has ebbed and flowed. It's certainly going the tide. It's now going with Dundee. There's no doubt about that. Remember, Hibs are ahead 2-0. Tavares in the first half. Miller with a header from a corner kick. In the second half, he was consequently sent off. 2 fouls deemed by the referee to be enough to get him a red card, sent off. And our free kick at the moment to Dundee just outside the box, a bit on the left side. It'll need to be swung in with the left peg of Owen Beck. Here it comes to far post. Oh, just required the slightest of touches at the far post. It goes beyond everyone. Goal kick, Hibs. They survived that again. I just think if Dundee could get a goal, this could be a very interesting climax to this football match. Still 2-0 Hibs.
Let's get to Rory Loy. Rory, I'm seeing an injury there at St Mirren Park.
Yes, indeed, it's Richard Taylor. He clashed with Joel Newbley. Newbley didn't do anything wrong. It was just a coming together, and he kind of rolled off the pitch to the side, and the game went on for a spell. But he's currently on a stretcher, so fingers crossed he's okay. As for the action on the pitch, it's been pretty dire this second half, I have to say. There was moments in the first half where it was very good. Greg Krilty was the shining light in the first half. He's just not been able to get in the game, and I mean, for Livingston, it really is. The tactic seems to be, kick it as long and hard as you can, and that's kind of where it's been at for Livingston today. Jonah Hugo come off around the 60th minute. Alex Grieve come on for him. He got a standing ovation. A really good 60 minutes for him under his belt. He can be pleased with his day's work. Shinnie and Sean Kelly have went off for Livingston. Parks and Singari have come on, and of course Taylor's injured there, so Charles Dunn has come on. Very, very little to report on in this second half, I must say, Kenny.
Anything to report in Dingwall, John Robertson?
Not a great deal at the moment. Both teams have thrown on a striker as we burst away, Marley Watkins, but he's tackled. Both teams have brought on a striker. Vassell has come on for Kilmarnock. Jordan White has come on for Ross County. There's been very little, same as a little second half. A Josh Sims shot was saved for Ross County, and Donnelly's blasted one over the bar from about 16 yards, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a goal. We're now 79 minutes gone here, and it's still County 0, Kilmarnock 0.
Crystal Palace have equalised away at Luton. Michael Elise on 74 minutes. Let's then get to that big cup tie at Palmerston Park. Queen of the South at home to Dundee United. What's happening now? Kenny Crawford.
76 minutes gone, Kenny. Still Queen of the South 2, Dundee United 2. Dundee United certainly dominating this last 10-15 minutes or so. Lots of chances, just not able to apply the finishing touch. Effie Ambrose, the Queen of the South defender, he took a lot of stick last week for his performance against Kelty Hearts from the manager Marvin Bartley, but it was a heroic block from him to deny Louis Moe. A goal-bound effort by the striker, which Effie Ambrose just threw himself in front of to divert wide. But still Queen of the South 2, Dundee United 2.
Leanne, let me put this one to you. So we heard there from John Robertson the game in Dingwall. We saw a very nice statement through the League Managers Association from Malky Mackay this week, thanking everyone at Ross County for the opportunity, wished them all well, great club. Is he hoping to get pumped this afternoon?
I think there might be a bit of him that wouldn't mind it. I think anybody that says otherwise, no, I think Malky's he's got to be disappointed, isn't he? I'm sure he's left and look to leave in relatively good terms, but
I thought they've been playing okay.
Yeah, man, I know. But it's just, look, it's the run of form, isn't it, when you start to tally up the games. But even when I was looking at St Mirren today and looking at their results, they've only won 1 in 6. So I thought if St Mirren don't win today, we'll see how quickly things turn for the likes of Stephen Robinson, because that's how fickle we can be, certainly in Scottish football. But I think Malky would be delighted.
Ken, I'm not so sure. No? I just think the relationship that Malky Mackay had with Roy McGregor, he gave him an opportunity that some other people weren't prepared to do. So, yes, he'd be disappointed, but I don't think Malky is that kind of guy.
Do you think you would have expected it, Crags, though?
Well, I think there's a couple of occasions last season where people were talking about him losing his job, weren't they? And Roy McGregor stuck with him and invested in January. So I think once it got to the 11 games, probably had a real dilemma to make, particularly with international break coming up. Would he go to January again, or would he allow someone else to go in January?
I think these managerial statements from guys who've just been let go I think it's all about not the job that they've just lost, it's the job that they might get next. They're not going to slag off anybody because it doesn't look good to maybe future employers. You know?
Do you know something?
And compensation will still have to be sorted out.
Yeah, and I may be wrong in this, right? But I remember the game, the midweek game, Dundee 0-0 at home to Ross County a few weeks ago. I'm pretty certain that I saw Derek Adams at that game. I'm pretty certain I saw him there, and that's where I think I'm right. That's kind of the way that football works, isn't it? You know.
So you think you're right, Kenny?
I think I'm right.
Need clarification on this.
Not often he's wrong, but he's right again.
I certainly wouldn't say that. It's an interesting move, but certainly Ross County fans, two of them in the programme last week, we asked them who would you want. At that point, Derek Adams wasn't anywhere near the top of the betting, and they both wanted Derek Adams. He's got the job appointed on Monday, and he's been speaking there about the changes that he feels he needs to make at the club. I just want to go around the pundits in a couple of minutes' time, because at the start of the season, and I understand why, given the League Cup campaign, most of our pundits felt that St Johnstone would finish bottom of the table. I want to get their thoughts on that in the next couple of minutes. But Tom, just briefly earlier on, we touched on this. We had a VAR chat earlier. We don't need to go back into that. But you ran a poll on social media. What did it show?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's just for my own curiosity, to be honest. I think 1,682 people responded to it. About VAR, I gave them 4 options. Keep it, it's working very well. It was 1%. Keep it, it's working.
Somebody's pushed the wrong button.
that might have been me, actually.
I want to know who they are. I'm going to find out. Keep it working. It's working okay, 5%. And then keep it, but it must improve, 46%. And bin it, it's not worth it, 48%. So I thought that was, listen, it's just a silly poll. But 1,682 people is not insignificant. The 46 and the 48% figure, I thought it would be a little bit a wider gap. I thought more people would probably vote for Bennett. So I just thought that was just a little interesting thing.
It's interesting, Tom. It's probably fair to say that if you conducted that poll across the leagues across Europe, you'd probably get a similar.
I'd say similar. I think people, people are obviously very frustrated with it, but people are also kind of. Clearly a lot of people want to keep it, but just hope it keeps improving, so.
Tom, it's not going anywhere, is it?
There's boys through, brilliant tackle.
Yeah.
What a tackle that is. He's got to roll it square to Shanklin.
Oh, what a miss. Dundee should have scored there. What an absolute miss that was. It was at Charlie Riley just inside the 6-yard box. He's come on as sub. It's a free kick played in the left side by Owen Beck. He's got to score. He has to score. Just knock it down the way he puts it over the crossbar. Another chance for Dundee going begging.
Hamilton Accies 0, Celtic Hearts 2. Lewis Moore with the second goal there on 75 minutes. Brighton are down to 10 men. Lewis Dunk sent off on 73 minutes. Morton cruising now at home to Bowness United. Robbie Muirhead with a goal there on 79 minutes. Montrose 2-0 up at home to Edinburgh City. Kane Hester on 78. In fact, now 3-0 up. Kane Hester on 78. Hester again on 80 minutes. 3-0 up at home to Edinburgh City. Nottingham Forest has fought back against Brighton. Penalty scored. The player was sent off. Dunk. Morgan Gibbs-White scored from the penalty spot. So it's Forest 2, Brighton 3. And that is you right up to date with all the latest goal news. Amy Canavan, you're watching Scottish Cup action today. What's happening?
I certainly am, Kenny. Yes, it remains Dunbar 1, Alloa Athletic 2. I think Dunbar is slightly beginning to run out of ideas, as you can probably tell around me. It's just got a little bit quieter here at Newtown Test Park. Steve Dowie in the Dunbar goal has had to throw it a few decent saves. Connor Salmon, as always, is causing a little bit of a nuisance. But if a touch-off is to be on the hand, Dunbar better get moving fast.
Right, let's get another goal in the Scottish. In fact, another 2 goals in the Scottish Cup. First up, Broxman Athletic 1, Errol Douglas on 81 minutes, Bucky Thistle 0. And I can give away now who our guest choosing the music in the 5:30 slot. Stay tuned for that. The first story is quite something, I have to say. Inverness, Cally Thistle 1. Cowdenbeath 0, David Witherspoon on 80 minutes. What an impact he's had at Inverness, Cally Thistle. Duncan Ferguson, the Cally Thistle manager, choosing a music on Sports Sound this evening. Let's then get to Celtic Park. Stephen Craigan, what's happening there?
Yeah, well, only a couple of minutes ago, Kenny, when you were going through the scores, it was across from the left-hand side. I think it was Greg Taylor or Maggie Johnson, and somehow Yang, from about 6 yards out, managed to head past the post. Following on that, Celtic pushing again down the right-hand side. I think it was Tony Ralston whipped it in from the right-hand side. Went to have the strike, completely missed the ball, and it managed to go out for a corner kick. That was another big let-off, but Motherwell really are riding the luck. Celtic pushing on all the pressure. The big question is, can Motherwell hang on?
Let's then get to Tynecastle, Alan.
Oh, sorry, just as you come to me. It's an out-swinging corner from David Turnbull. Liam Scales rises highest. It looked all day long it was going to nestle in the far corner. I was looking to the net, and somehow it's just glanced past the outside of the post. They hang on, but for how much longer?
Big claims for a penalty as well, Stephen, for Mikey Johnson at the back post, claiming a shirt pull just as the ball goes beyond the goal.
Well,
I've got a feeling they might look at it, if I'm being honest.
He's got his finger to his ear, and it's just been announced over the tannoy that there will be a check for a penalty kick.
Yeah, I think it's Callum Butcher, perhaps. Yeah, he's got a...
Close his arm.
Yeah.
You think that's going to be given?
I think so.
Well, he's on his way.
There's a good chance.
He's on his way
There's a good
over.
chance. If you're looking at consistency this season, more often than not, when the defender is the wrong side of the attacker,
was he going to get the ball?
They've been given.
Did he have a chance of getting the ball?
That's probably the biggest question. But the ones we've seen given this season already, Craigs, that's never really come into it, to be honest. It's in that area.
Oh, it's a goal! Tries to finish it. Oh, what a tackle that is! Shankland was almost through, but a brilliant tackle by Robinson.
It's a goal for St Mirren, and it's 2-0. And again, it's the ball in from Caelan Boyd-Muntz is unbelievable. A fantastic delivery from a set piece, goes into the box, it skids everywhere, and it's volleyed home. Again, it's so difficult to see who it is because there's so many bodies in there. At first it looked as though it was a Livingston player that kicked in, but potentially Mikel Mandron again. I'm not quite sure. Maybe Leanne will get a better look. But
goal! Oh my goodness me! It's been like the Alamo for the last 5 minutes. Hibs have been defending on the line, but Dundee have got one back. They've been threatening and threatening and threatening, and driven into the left-hand side. It may have been Owen Beck. Crouch stood up in front of me. I just saw him strike it. It went into the back of the net. They're definitely back in it. It is now Dundee 1, Hibs 2.
There's a goal check here at Paisley for a potential offside, just so we know.
Let's get through the Tom Park's own goal in 84 minutes. Let's get back to Celtic Park.
Penalty's been given. Stephen McLean went over. He spent probably 15-20 seconds just to confirm, and he's pointed to the penalty spot. It will be David Turnbull. When he came onto the pitch, I did say the return of David Turnbull.
You called it.
Would he come back to haunt his old club? I hope he doesn't, but David Turnbull is deadly from this position. Although he has missed a penalty in the last couple of weeks for Celtic, didn't he? He missed one here, I think, against St Mirren. So it's David Turnbull against Liam Kelly.
An interesting goal in England. Luton Town 2, Crystal Palace 1. Jacob Brown with a goal there on 83 minutes for Luton.
What did I tell you?
You called it, Tom.
He's been listening to Sportsound. He's been listening to Sportsound.
Right, a big moment here at Celtic Park. Stephen Craigan is there for us. Liam Kelly bouncing around in his line, Stephen.
He is. David Turnbull just took a couple of steps back. Stephen McLean making sure everyone is outside the box and around the edge of the D. David Turnbull, who will be hugely frustrated. 7 league starts this season, 6 goals. Had to come off the bench this afternoon. Is he going to be the man to rescue 3 points? Up he comes! Bottom left-hand corner. Liam Kelly goes the same way as he did the first time. Turnbull, calm and composed, into the bottom of the left-hand corner. Celtic 1, Motherwell 0.
Goal chalked off, Kenny, in Paisley, so it goes back to St Mirren 1, Livingston 0, and it was Tom Parks. I actually didn't think it could possibly have been him. I mean, he absolutely smashes it into the roof of the net. It's quite incredible, really. I have been really disappointed with Livingston today, I have to say. Do you know what the biggest thing with Livingston is? I think it's a genuine tactic in the first 20 minutes, if you're struggling for form, to turn the opposition, trying to get further up the pitch. But Joel Newbley, he's a shining light in this team. He's played right wing back against Scott Tanser, who is a seasoned pro just about at playing that position. He's pinned him back, he's looked a fish out of water at times, he's gave nothing going forward, and Joel Newbley for me should be further up the pitch.
Shout for a penalty, and there's going to be a dive. It's going to be a dive here. He goes down in the box. It's Vargas, and it's a dive for me. The players wanted a penalty. He's not going to get it. St Johnstone players are irate, absolutely irate.
Liam Gordon's livid there, absolutely livid. Let's give you this. Owen Beck with that goal gets Dundee back in it against 10-man Hibs. Owen Beck on 86, Dundee 1, Hibs 2. Newcastle cruising against Chelsea. Anthony Gordon on 83 minutes, 4-1. Inverness Cali Thistle now in total control at home to Cowdenbeath in the third round of the Scottish Cup. Billy Mackay on 84 minutes has him 2-0 up. Confirmation that Tom Park's own goal chopped off, so St Mirren still just 1-0 up at home to Livingston in that game. My goodness, what a game. Dumbarton have equalised away at Annan Athletics, now 3 apiece here. They were 2-0 up, we went 3-2 down. Finlay Gray on 88 minutes in that game. Remember, the 4th round draw in the Scottish Cup live on Sports Scene tomorrow. Real heartache for these Motherwell fans at Celtic Park, Stephen Craigan.
Yeah, it is, Kenny. I have to say, the pressure was building that much that you just felt at some stage something was going to give. From open play, I got to say they were struggling a little bit. You felt it was going to come from a dead ball, whether a free kick, a corner kick or a penalty kick. And then when they missed the first one, you think, is it going to be their day? But it's been incessant pressure. It really has. They've been pushing and probing all afternoon. Motherwell now have to make a change. Connor Wilkinson's going to come on to try and put 2 strikers up the pitch just to see if they can get something back into it. Even if the result doesn't go their way, you've got to say it's a much improved performance than what it's been over the last 6 games.
Let's get down then to Palmerston, the third round of the Scottish Cup. Queen of the South home to Dundee United. What's happening, Kenny?
Yeah, into the closing stages now as Chris Mockley blasts wide for Dundee United. He's one of the men that Jim Goodwin has brought on to try and help the situation. Matty Cudjoe also on. And Queen of the South resolute at the moment. They've had the odd counter-attack as well. Still 2-2 between the sides as we edge closer to extra time, Kenny.
Morton 4-0 up now at home to Bowness United in the Scottish Cup. Logan O'Boy with a goal there on 89 minutes. Burnley have equalised at home to West Ham United. It's 1 apiece. Dara O'Shea with a goal there on 86. Just as I say that, Thomas Souček has put West Ham United back in front there. They lead Burnley by 2 goals to 1. It's been a dreadful return to the top flight for Burnley, really struggling. Also, just speaking of struggling, we'll go down the pundits quickly. A lot of you guys tipped St John's to go down, given what you think saw in the League Cup. Where are you now with that? Just looking at the bottom of the table, the live table as things stand. Livingston bottom 10 points, St Johnstone 11, Ross County 11, Motherwell 12, Aberdeen 12. Who's going down now, Leanne?
You'd be brave to call it at this stage.
Who do you have concerns for now?
Look, I think all the ones that you've just named down there. I think even from Dundee down, you know, Kilmarnock both joint in 17 points. Hibs are only on 18. I don't see Hibs getting dragged into it, but I don't know if the depth of squad that Dundee and Kilmarnock, I know recruitment in terms of starting 11, probably a strong 13-14 players Tony Docherty's got at Dundee, but the reality is if you don't win games you'll quite quickly find yourself
for Park. Celtic Park! It's game for Motherwell. I've got to say, he rolled the dice, shook Kettlewell. He brought on Theo Bair. He brought on Connor Wilkinson. He decided, I'm going to go for it. He took off a couple of midfield players, and they have been rewarded. It's their first notable attack, if even you can call that, in the second half. It's a corner from the left-hand side, swung in. I don't even know who got the final touch.
I think it's
Obika. John Obika.
Yeah.
John Obika come on about 15 minutes ago for Mika Bereth. I just got to say, I said to you earlier at the time, there's going to be 10 minutes added on. So we'll be here till about 5:30 till the game's over.
8 minutes here in Paisley.
But I've got to say, unbelievable turnaround in this game.
He actually does well.
What's Joe Hart doing there?
I know. I've no idea. He's getting himself caught up because Taylor.
Sorry, Leanne, this is an unbelievable game. It's 2-1. As you know, Hibs down 2 men. They've been cramped up in their 6-yard, 18-yard box, and it's been all Dundee, chance after chance after chance.
Final whistle, Dingwall, 0-0.
Thank you to John Roberts in a fairly calm event there. Derek Adams' first game in charge in his third spell as manager of the club there. Falkirk are beaten for Martin United 3-0 in the Scottish Cup, and that is you up to date with the latest scores. My goodness, Tom English, what a drama there late on at Celtic Park. And I've heard a lot of Celtic fans this season questioning Joe Hart as their goalkeeper.
Yeah, Joe Hart, but also the defenders. I mean, it's a million there. Nobody's taking charge.
The thing is, you've got Greg Taylor marking Obika, who is on. Obika's on the goalkeeper and Greg Taylor's goal side of Obika. Now, I don't understand why even his goal side, because you'd be better going on the opposite side and blocking him in so that at least Joe Hart has got the ability to come for the ball. Ibika just uses Greg Taylor as a shield from the goalkeeper.
He doesn't even get off the ground.
Drags Taylor into almost just an absolute scramble and manages to get the contact, but he's got no right to get the first contact, I would need to say, because it drops into an area, Stephen, that is just...
It's Stephen. It's such a infuriating goal for Celtic. But fair play to Motherwell. You know, the resilience that they've shown, hanging in there, staying in the fight. You got to take your hat off to them.
Well, the key is now, Tom, that Motherwell have taken off the likes of Callum Butcher, and they've no other defenders on the bench.
No,
so it's not as if they can make another change and bring another defensive player to play in midfield. So you've got a midfield four of Theo Bair, who's a centre forward, Conor Wilkinson, who's a centre forward, Harry Payton, and Blair Spittle. Now they probably don't have a defensive bone in their body. So it's going to be a huge ask to try and hang in here.
1-0 to Hearts.
Thanks, Alan. Gordon Shanklin with the goal there, turning in a boys' effort on at 61 minutes. So the dream start for Craig Levein comes to an end there, but a good performance at Tynecastle. Cally Thistle beating Cowdenbeath 2-0 in the Scottish Cup. Trinent 0, Forth Athletic 1. That's also a full-time score. Full-time score, Stirling Albion 0, Cove Rangers 2, Montrose 3, Edinburgh City 0, Albion Rovers 0, Bonnyrigg Rose 1. John Robertson telling us full-time score in Dingwall, Ross County 0, Kilmarnock 0, Green and Morton have beaten Bonnet United by 4-0. Park of Thistle 3, Queen's Park 0, and that Jonathan Ibika goal coming through on 90 minutes at Celtic Park. That after David Turnbull from the penalty spot had put Celtic ahead on 86. Louis Palmer had a penalty saved by Liam Kelly in that second half. It was a great penalty from Turnbull, but my goodness, what a fight back from Motherwell. 9 games without a win going into this one at Celtic Park today. We heard from the third part manager, we heard from him early on, Stuart Cantwell. He said he was trying to change things to get a reaction. So far so good for them, but Stephen telling us a fair bit of injury time still to go in that game. Confirmation then, Hearts 1, St Johnstone 0, Brother Rangers 1, Pollock 0 in the Scottish Cup. All the action coming through. Let's then get back. Who's still playing? Chick Young, what's happening there at Dens Park?
Oh, it's brilliant. We're well into 6 minutes of time added on. Remember, Hibs leading by 2-1, but they're down to 10 men. Lewis Miller sent off, and it's all Dundee. They are desperate to get equaliser. Here's another chance created. It's just dipped over the crossbar. It's another brave effort from Dundee. Not on target this time. And they have tried and tried. I know for a fact that Tony Docherty, their manager, will praise his players if this is a defeat. They've been magnificent in the second half. They've hemmed Hibs in, and they've been goal after goal at trying to get an equaliser. They got one back, remember. Owen Beck scored with a low shot, and Hibs have been in turmoil since in the wake of that. Tavares and Miller put them ahead in the first half. 2-1 it stands. They've got about a minute or so to try and salvage this now. Have Dundee. Tremendous stuff. What a game it's been, Kenny. Absolutely brilliant.
Once these games are finished, we're going to switch to commentary at Celtic Park. Real drama there. What's happening in Paisley, Rory?
Not a lot. I mean, Livingston have barely came forward. They do come forward now, actually. Anderson's in down the right-hand side. He puts it across the goal. Oh, good save, Zach Hemming. Good save. He's done nothing to do all game, and that is a very tidy save down his left-hand side from Joel Newbley. It's cut back to him. They finally got him further up the pitch, and he comes on to the end of it. Good save. It is a corner to Livingston.
He's been a great signing for them, hasn't he, Rory?
Yeah, he has.
Kenny, that's full time at Dens Park, 2-1.
Thanks, Chuck. So Dundee losing there, but still a terrific start of the season for Tony Dockside. So a corner now for Livingston. Can they get a late equaliser here at St Mirren Park?
Well, that's what St Mirren did to Livingston earlier in the season, through in Livingston, but they've wasted the corner, and it's actually St Mirren who are coming forward now as it opens up again. But I can't emphasise just how disappointed. Oh, he's still going. Oh, he's cut inside. Oh, it's McMenamin. Oh, it's still going. Oh, it's come back out to O'Hara. Oh, just over the bar. Just over the bar.
A late equaliser for Ayr United. Sean McGinty on 96 minutes in the Scottish Cup. Peterhead 1, Ayr United 1, Dunbar United 1, Alloa 2. A fight back from Alloa there. That is in the Scottish Cup. Dundee
full
1,
time at
2.
Palmerston, Kenny, as well. It's Queen of the South 2, Dundee United 2, so we're headed to extra time.
Fantastic game down there. Also into extra time, and in 3, Dumbarton 3, be an amazing game there. Bucky Thistle have equalised in the 98th minute. They were down to 10 men. I actually saw at one point they may have been down to 9, but certainly Broxburn won, Bucky Thistle won in that game. Let's get back to Stephen Craigan, Celtic Park.
Yeah, I've got to say, Maggie Johnson, who has been in cold storage for a long time, came on this afternoon. He's been very, very bright. On the left-hand side, he cut inside a couple of minutes ago, had a shot towards goal. It just fizzed wide, but the pressure still continues to come. Motherwell have defended the box at times this afternoon, Kenny, incredibly well. They've been blocked, they put their bodies in a line, they've won headers, but you know, with the Celtic team, they keep on coming.
What have you got on the clock there, Craigs?
I know.
What was it in terms of injury time?
10 minutes.
10.
So I think we possibly
into 7 or
about
along
3.5
those lines.
left, maybe something like that.
Yep, I'd make it that as well, looking at it.
Yeah, really interesting watching this one. Celtic build up, Tom and Edge. This could be a big scoreline for both these clubs today.
Absolutely. I couldn't see this coming. I just thought Celtic would steamroller Motherwell, lacking in confidence Motherwell. I mean, you know, outstanding defensive performance. Obviously Celtic have missed a penalty, Yang has missed an absolute sitter, but Motherwell, the commitment is unbelievable. I mean, it's just incredible. They're throwing the bodies in front of everything, blocking, chasing, harrying, and it could be a massive point for them, you know, just to
Tom, it's funny you talk about, you know, you didn't expect anything from Motherwell. There's many times I came here as a Motherwell player and we were in good form. We couldn't wait to come here to see what we could do, and you get absolutely fucked. And there's other times you come and you're way out of form and you're coming into the stadium thinking, I hope this doesn't get embarrassing, and you nick a draw. So
and that's what we love about the game, don't we?
So the whole psychology of what you come here with is irrelevant, believe me.
So Burnley 1, West Ham United 2, Sheffield United 1, Bournemouth 3. Ultimate Burnley on 97 minutes with a goal there.
Full time in Paisley, Kenny. The Buddies win 1-0. Livingston, no points again. Finishes St Mirren 1, Livingston 0.
St Mirren back on track. Let's get live now to Celtic Park.
For Johnston, edge of the box, trying to get onto the right hand side. Carter Vickers is well advanced out to the right hand side, and it's Ralston plays it infield for O'Reilly. Back to Carter Vickers. Celtic looking to work the opportunity here at the edge of the box. Johnston held up, back to Taylor, back with Scales, plays it square, 30 yards from goal is Carter Vickers. O'Reilly now, angle of the box. Ralston goes in the overlap, tries to cut it back. It's O'Reilly, wide a goal, well wide in fact in the end. It was a big opportunity. Welcome all listeners across all our frequencies for an enthralling end to this game at Celtic Park. It went 1-0 Celtic. Late in the 90 minutes as David Turnbull scored from the penalty spot.
Huge chance.
But, Motherwell pegging them back inside the 90th minute. Looked like a John Obika touch to a Blair Spittle corner. It's 1-1 and we've played 9 minutes of stoppage time. We've got one more to play. 1-1 it stands. Motherwell with the goal kick, Packy.
And that was a huge chance for Matt O'Reilly there. Great play down the right hand side. The ball just stood up for O'Reilly coming in. Free header, and he wasn't able to get his header on target. Back across the goal and away to safety for Motherwell.
Liam Scales has it at the back for Celtic, just touches it back for Taylor. There's a one final opportunity then in this game for Celtic to create the winner. It's Ralston out to Tillio on his debut for Celtic. Running it Spencer, right hand side, into the penalty he comes. Cross goal, gets the touch, out comes Kelly, can't clutch it. Hacked away from the 6-yard box there. And the free kick is eventually given by Stephen McLean. Not sure why he delayed his whistle there, but Liam Kelly adjudged to have been fouled. And surely now that was seconds left of the 10 minutes that have been added on. Celtic 1, Motherwell 1.
Well, it's so hugely disappointing for the Celtic fans. A lot of them have left the stadium by now, and they know that they've thrown away an incredible opportunity to get the 3 points. From Motherwell's perspective, brilliant, you could say a really, really good performance, and they deserve probably something out of the game, even though it's been a defensive performance, but it's been huge to be a goal behind and to come back again in the last probably 89th minute was quite incredible.
Well, we are now into the 11th minute of stoppage time, and still Stephen McLean doesn't sound the final whistle. But now he does, and Motherwell somehow with a stoic defensive
massive performance here. Have snatched a point despite having gone behind to a late David Turnbull penalty. It looked like the former Motherwell man would give his side all 3 points. Luis Palma having an earlier penalty saved by Liam Kelly, but David Turnbull showing him how it was done from the spot, rolling in the opener, but that did not account for Motherwell's determination to get something from this game, having put so much into it despite having their backs to the wall almost throughout. And from a corner kick, Blair Spittle with a wonderful delivery, and it was glanced on. It seemed to be John Abika who got the final touch, and he just knocked it past Joe Hart, who was unable to get anything on it as he came off his line. And Motherwell had a last gasp equaliser, and so Celtic do move a point further clear at the top of the table. It's 9 points the advantage now on Rangers, but they have played 2 games additional to their closest rivals. As for Motherwell, it is 10 games now without a win, but that point could do so much for them psychologically. It's a massive performance from them, and it is finished here at Celtic Park. Celtic 1, Motherwell 1.
Football